Cool. Who would like to recap from last time? We'll start with a recap before we get into our prologue for tonight.
But there's no VOD. I don't know what happened. Let's see.
Oh man, 2 weeks is a long time to think back.
Yeah.
I know we finished fighting the seed monsters.
Yep, and you made it to Mir. You got into the city
Oh,
walls.
okay. Yeah. So we were in Mir, and Brackle and I went to go and rudely wake up the woman in town who has the medical capabilities of extracting my baby plant from my stomach. But despite our best efforts to charm her and coerce her and whatever else we tried in that conversation, it did not pan out. So we will be coming back in the morning. And meanwhile, while that was going on, we learned there was that tree that was like in the center of the town that was significant. I forget why it was significant though. It's like
Does
it's always
anybody else
dead.
remember?
It's the season.
The tree of
right?
all seasons. Yep.
So it
Very
would like
cool.
it was dead now, but like eventually it would start to sprout as trees do, I guess. I guess it's not very special about a tree, so never mind. Maybe someone else take the other part of the village.
It gives
There you go.
people in their second life the chance to return to their first life,
Okay.
but it's not a common occurrence that people take that risk, and even less that they actually return to their first life. And there's like a coffin there, and they like hop in the coffin, and then hop out a different person.
They just hop out the previous version of themselves. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had that whole time travel like debate thing. I remember now about how that was gonna work.
That was the thing that I misexplained last time.
Mhm.
Spawned a whole secondary timeline discussion that needn't have been explained.
But sometimes when I think about it, then I think like, would Vern really understand like deep time travel? You know, like he's smart, but he's smart in like certain ways. Like this seems like a thing that he wouldn't fully grasp anyway. So if
Very
I, as a
technically
player, am
smart,
confused,
not like theoretically smart.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
no
something like
Neil
that.
deGrasse.
Right. He's a man of this world. You know, he's not thinking about others.
Cool.
Until now, with getting these people
anything
home.
else? I don't think there's anything else. Everything is labeled in the Mirror City map, so I don't think you guys.
Well, while Brackle and Vern were having their dialogue, the others were talking to somebody and were told to see another person whose name we kept mixing up with the person that we were talking to. What was that about? That conversation? Or was that just about the tree?
There was a couple people. There was Bell, who there was a few of us who were Eric, Vern, and myself said to go see. And there was, I don't have the name written down, but somebody for Urzok to see as well. I don't know if they were a Smith.
Warwick. I have no idea who it is or what they're supposed to do. But
Auric.
Yep. So not Auric.
Auric.
He exists.
So yes, so Belle is the herbalist and the tinkerer. She runs a workshop at the bottom of this tower up here. And Silgath suggested that Teth and Eric go see her. He suggested that Brackle and Vern go see Beth up here in the top right or north. And he suggested that Urzok go see Warwick, who is the captain of the militia in the barracks. Because he was contacted by somebody who needs to give Urzok something, and he thinks that he should be given this thing in person, not through Silgath.
It's a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah, the good old 1-2.
There was
It's
also,
Brad.
There's also a cool first divination moment with
What's up, Blanche?
Urzok.
yeah, I used the spyglass. I don't remember.
Last time I saw you were salty, and you dipped.
Yeah. So I forgot that the session ended that way. Yeah. So you used the spyglass to connect to Lendis, and it worked. And Lendis told you through a certain number of words that specifically Teth and Vern will need your help in the near future, and you should go help them. And then Des told you not to be sad by yourself.
Yeah, it was like it was the moment he or the phrase he said. He was like, I finally got to talk to my God. He didn't even answer my question.
Yeah. Shit.
After 150 years. God damn it.
Almost 100, right? Like 80, 85, I think, at this
80,
point.
yeah.
80?
Uh,
All right, cool. Anything else? Any questions before we start?
Is that the
Oh, yeah, Brad,
that-
you're just joining. Do you have any questions?
So I beat the seed monsters. We're in Mir. There's various parts of town that people are going to. Urzak talked to a god.
The God, the God that matters most to him,
To
yeah.
him. To who's Urzak?
to Urzak.
Is it a Presidian
Lendis.
god? Oh, it's
No,
no, it's not. It's not.
Lendis is a lesser deity, considered a lesser deity in this arena.
Yep.
All right,
We all-
so I just a warning as I read through this prologue. As I was writing this, it seemed like a really good idea to include dialogue from 4 different characters. And I like how it is, so I'm not going to rewrite it, but I may mess it up because they all have different accents. So,
Look.
sorry about that. If
We'll be
that
keeping
happens.
score. So
Yeah.
Good luck.
Rate me 1 out of 10 afterwards. Let's see. Today's prologue is sponsored by Michaels, where I got this reindeer.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was a couple years ago. It's not a new reindeer. But we did get a new reindeer also from Michaels this year.
Big
It's
reindeer
not
family.
that one. We're big reindeer people, let me tell you. Okay. For tonight's prologue, we find ourselves in a small, dark, circular room. It's lit only by a single brazier in the very center. The walls are lined with maps, markings, sigils, and what would seem to be tactical war plans. A table is pushed up to one wall, and it is covered in scrolls and books, many of which have titles pertaining to Azura's history, chronomancy, basic military leadership, and the Two-Faced War in general. In a circle around the central brazier, there are 8 stone chairs facing inward towards the flames. As we pan around the room, you can tell that each chair is well made, but shoddily engraved with a name on the back. Names are in order as follows around the circle of chairs: Maruil, Silgath, Mfari, Herod, Warren, Lyra, Arvanitis, and Gael. 7 of these chairs are occupied, with the one labeled Herod remaining empty. The fire of the brazier gives off enough light for you to recognize looks of grief on the faces of those around it. Sadness looks a bit different on each of the seated creatures, ranging from cold and resolute to trembling to disbelief to quiet weeping. The man named Warren speaks first, reading from a scroll he has recently unfurled. You can hear stifled pain in his voice. In the absence of the committee's tenured scribe, Herod, I will read the processes from our last meeting, dated 1 week ago. Our first call to action was from Gael and Arvanitis together, proposing more protection for those fleeing the tithes through underground means. That call was met with unanimous support. Our second call to action was from Herod proposing aesthetic upgrades and an increase to the resources for cities to keep recreational areas clean. That call was abandoned by majority vote, 7-1. Our third call to action was the seriously, man, do you need to go over this right now? And the man sitting in the chair labeled Arvanitis interjects. Well, it's our process, Arvanitis. Forget our process. Herod is gone. The big guy is gone, categorically the strongest of the 8 of us, and yet here we sit without him. Gael then speaks up. Please, let's not fracture now. Herod was incredibly strong, but his greatest strength was just the same as his greatest detriment. He trusted far too easily. He hasn't lived the lives that we have. Warren speaks back up. Our third call to action was from enough with the calls to action, Warren. God damn. Just let us grieve outside of the rules for one meeting. You'll get a chance to read the calls to action next time. Gentlemen! Marawill's small voice cuts through the noise, and the room goes silent. We are all grieving. We are all less one friend now. We have all undergone a loss that will stay with us forever. Know who to place this blame on, and I will not have infighting across my committee. Warren, please continue. Silence permeates the room, and glances from several members shift back and forth between Marawill, Warren, and a now very ashamed Arvanitis. Our third call to action was from Marawill and Lyra together, proposing an agreed-upon pact to protect the children of the members of this committee at all costs, including from threats thought to be long behind us. Warren reaches over and joins hands with the woman seated next to him, named Lyra. That call was met with unanimous agreement. Gael speaks after another prolonged moment of silence. I move to adjourn early today. None of us are fit to provide our best ideas right now. Lyra and Warren have their party tonight, and we'll discuss with their contacts higher up. We'll reconvene once they can provide more feedback from the field. Until then, we devote a moment of rest to our fallen friend. There's a quick cut, and now you see Gael standing alone in a workshop, boots covered in blood. The envelope in his hand bends as his grasp tightens. An agreed-upon pact to protect the children of the members of this committee at all costs, including from threats thought to be long behind us. He turns slowly and exits the warehouse, washing away his bloody footprints with a wave of his hand. And you wake up from your long rest in a big old house in a forest outside of Mir.
Yeah, Galdrix. That was another thing. Or Galders? Galdrix?
Galder's Tower, yeah.
Yeah. We should keep a tally on how long it is between long rests.
3 more months after this one.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember last time.
Last one was in the bunker outside of the capital.
It's been 3 years.
I guess in game time it was only like a day and a half,
Yeah,
but real time much longer.
because we like to talk.
Excellent.
Vern and Brackle, I need both of you to roll a perception check, please.
Uh-oh.
Hey. Perception. Oh, that's just a D20 for me. Mm,
22.
18.
Oh, nice. So nothing bad happens to you.
Good.
You have
Yeah.
good enough perception, both of you. You rolled high enough. But you're the first two to wake up. And as you wake up, you notice that Silgath, Vern, you rolled lower. So we'll say Silgath is sitting just a few, like a foot, maybe less, away from your face. Just
Oh.
like this. Just looking at you, waiting for you to wake up.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I blink a couple times and I say, and not really, like my eyes are still bleary and stuff, and I'm just like, "Good morning," and I give him a little peck on his nose.
Okay. He will say, "Good morning. I heard that somebody told Beth that I told you that she stays up all night, and she yelled at me quite a lot this morning. So now, the first thing that you and your friend Brackle will do this morning is go and apologize to her." And he will take the blankets off of you and just throw them off on the floor.
Oh, is that how last night went down? You know, it's all kind of a blur. I thought we dreamt most of that conversation.
And he'll just start walking away and he'll laugh. He's all in good fun about it. But he will start to walk out of the house, and he'll say, "Next time you try to lie to someone, don't make it to the woman who can tell when anyone is lying." And he will slam the door behind him.
It's good to know, eh, Brackle?
I think we were just in a panic, honestly. We're just trying to get that seed out of your stomach.
Right. It wasn't our best work.
No. But apparently we shouldn't lie.
Okay, so what should we try telling her this time? Just kidding.
I think it'll come to us.
Okay. Let's is everyone still sleeping in the room? I think Vern will put his boots on and provide that Brackle's doing the same. I think we're gonna head out at dawn and go and take care of this.
How's everybody else feeling? Is everybody else waking up at dawn with them? Or are you sleeping in a little bit longer?
I'll go wake up and I'll make some breakfast.
It's nice of you. You didn't have enough breakfast the other day?
Oh, are we making pancakes for?
Oh shit!
I forgot.
Yeah, we have to go make pancakes for
Good
Beth.
catch.
Yeah.
I would not have remembered that. That's a good catch.
Just the making of breakfast reminded me that was a thing.
With raspberry jam. Don't forget.
Mhm.
Oh right, raspberry jam.
You have to make pancakes, but you don't know how to make pancakes.
Yep. Does
Okay.
the tower have a kitchen?
Oh,
It has a fireplace.
it's not a kitchen.
No.
There is a kitchen in the stables and storefronts here. There's a
All right, let's
small
head to the store.
community kitchen.
Okay, we'll start walking. And while we're walking, is so the tower is not like a environment thing? It's just like whatever. Is it always set to be this thing?
No, I can change the configuration.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the tower in town. Yeah, I would assume the tower has whatever amenities Urzok would want it to have. So if there is a kitchen in there, you could just
Could we
Use that.
could we add a kitchen? We can get everybody involved then, right here.
You got is
Next time, maybe.
above game next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're asking Urzok that, I imagine he's got like a nice little tripod set up over the fire, and it's got like a little like grilling plate set up. Just flipping some dried meats or something, just some homely rations. And he's just gonna slowly turn to you and look and say, "Well, if my my current tools are not good enough for your disposal, Mr. Willoughby, suppose I could accommodate, although that would take resources and time.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. That's all right. You know, this I was a little harsh when upon first walking in here, but really, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. Um, no property that I own is nearly this cozy.
Fern, I hate to tell you, but I don't think uh, the sweet Lady Beth in town is the only one that can sniff out your lies.
Vern turns to Brackle. Let's make sure we bring some pancakes back for him too.
There's like a kitchen would be good though. In all fairness,
Well, next time.
Yeah, if you could just make an entire house
right,
in a couple
so-
of minutes better next time, just do that better.
tomorrow will be great. Do you need anything from the community kitchen, Erzak?
If you're making pancakes, I'll have a pancake.
I don't know when we'll be back, but we'll save you a pancake.
It's very gracious of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope the next time Urzak makes this tower, he creates a beautiful kitchen and we find no reason to use it. Just never even bother going in there.
You already have enough rations for the road.
So there is
I
actually.
don't even know why you spent. Yeah, there are stipulations for different rooms, aren't there?
Yeah, one of the rooms options is a dining space with table chairs, magical fireplace containers, and cooking utensils. But we went with
Sounds
the,
like a kitchen to me.
Yeah, sounds like
with
a kitchen.
the
We'll go to
bed
the community
and
kitchen.
the observatory.
Okay, Vern. So, how do we make pancakes?
Well, you know, growing up, my parents had the bakers make all manner of sweet confectionery desserts, so I think we'll just make one of those and then flatten it.
Sounds good to me. It's a
All
cake,
right.
and pancakes.
Yeah, let's
I
just,
suppose I mean flat. Yeah,
kind of like parse out the word. We got this. We
we
can
got
do
it.
this.
All right.
It's very accurate. Flat cake.
Great. Yeah. So as you exit the house, you see a couple of things. Flynn was posted out right outside of the front door. He does not require sleep, so he stood guard all night outside the door. And you also see up kind of like a more elevated area off to your, we'll say off to your left in a patch of trees. You can see Dez just waking up in the morning. He slept up in a tree, as he normally does.
Lynn, have you
the
been
wisp,
staring at
you don't
Dez the
know-
whole time?
No, I don't spend my time staring at my friends. Thank you. Do you spend your time staring at your friends?
Occasionally.
Okay. I'll walk behind you in the next party lineup.
Okay. I'll just walk backwards. It's fine.
He'll say, "Are the two of you headed to the village?"
We are. We're gonna make some breakfast. Would you like to join us?
Not for breakfast, but I will accompany you back to town.
Okay. Mr. Cryptic.
And he will just start walking. He's going to start walking back towards Mir and not wait for you.
I'll just put like my hand out in front of her and just like, hold on. We'll let him get a little bit in front of us. Just wait until he's like, I don't know, like 40 feet away, and then we'll start walking.
That's fair. That's fair. He pays you really no mind. I think he was just gonna go to Mir anyway, and he was gonna walk with you, but he's not bothered to walk by himself either.
I just wanted to see if he'd notice if we waited.
No,
We can hurry up.
he
to
might
him.
eventually, but he's nonplussed either way. Let's check in with Eric and Teth real quick. What are you guys doing at the break of dawn?
Is so you said that Urzak made a house or Brackle made a house?
Oh yes, Urzak cast Galder's tower, so he crafted his own house in the middle of the forest, so you didn't have to stay within the walls of Mir. You didn't play this last session. I forgot that.
Right. Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
And unfortunately,
Yeah. So right.
I'll just pick up as
Gist
I
of things. There normally are not undead visitors in this place, especially not casters. So that has weird implications for Brackle. Possibly, you got in at nighttime, and everybody was pretty much inside when you got in. So the party decided not to stay within the walls the first night and put up camp inside of Urzak's house. And then you went to sleep. Which
Okay.
reminds me, if you haven't hit it already, you can hit the long rest button.
No, I
Make sure
yeah,
you
I
take a
heard you
long
say
rest.
long rest. Eric doesn't sleep; he meditates as an elf. So the other part of the long rest, he would like to have, he's fascinated with his new herbalism kit that he got from the general store back in the capital.
Okay.
So he has some ingredients, and you heard the mention of raspberry pancakes. He actually has raspberries in his herbalism kit currently, a bunch of raspberries. But I'm thinking about going into town. However, this is a magical house? Like, it's not. Do we have just a bunch of our possessions hanging out here? We need to stand camp guard or anything? What's going on with that?
Don't fully understand the question.
How do you want to make that, Urzak?
So everyone's just leaving and going into town, but do
Oh,
we have any?
I mean, I assume that everybody has what they brought with them.
Mhm.
Other than that, I mean, like the beds and stuff that apparate will just go away after the tower goes away.
Okay.
I think it's up for 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah. So you have until about 8:30 tonight.
Let me read you that bit. Any equipment or furnishings conjured with the tower dissipate into smoke if removed from it. At the end of the spell's duration, all creatures and objects within the tower that were not created by the spell appear safely outside on the ground. All traces of the tower and its furnishings disappear.
Okay.
It's a good thing
guess-
we didn't try making pancakes in it then.
Oh, yeah, that was
Well,
Spend all this
okay,
time and walk out of it and then just. Pff.
that's interesting. The tools and
So
stuff
if-
created by it would have disappeared. So if you tried to take the cooking utensils outside, they would disappear. But if you
Yeah.
brought the
You
ingredients to
just
make
have to
the
use your
pancake-
own ingredients.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
You'd
yeah.
have to bring your own plates because otherwise you're carrying plates and they just disappear.
That would make Beth real mad. The heck is up with these damn?
Got some
Invisible
sand-covered pancakes
plates.
for you.
I guess the best thing that Eric could do is wander around the house, the tower, and look for more plants and stuff and ingredients for the herbalism kit. I don't want us all to just go into town and then this vacant house. People from something from the forest just be there when we get back.
For clarification, just because of the way you worded that sentence, you
Like-
are searching around the outside of the house, not just like looking through a magical house for ingredients, right?
Agreed, yeah.
Okay. I was like, you're searching around the house for plants, like magical
Sorry.
plants, after we just had the disappearing
Wandering
discussion.
around the outside of the house.
Okay.
Just as a quick
Make
yeah.
a. Let's see. Make a nature check.
So okay. 18.
Okay. Yeah, you are kind of thinking back to your brief conversation that you had with Helen, and some of the things that she kind of showed you about the herbalism kit that she gave you, and you automatically recognize a large patch of mint that you clip and you can put into a jar. So we'll say that you have 5 uses or 5 doses of mint leaf. So you can use that. And then you also find several acorns that she said could be ground down using your uh, mortar and pestle.
Okay. Okay.
Mortal pestle.
Mortal and Perster.
Mortar and pestle.
And then there are also, I'm going to have you roll a survival check real quick to gather a patch of poison ivy and poison oak.
Okay, I have leather gloves and in the
You can make the
herbalism-
check with advantage.
So actually, yeah, and the herbalism kit says I can gather useful elements safely.
Mm-hmm.
Survival 24. Unless I get a nat 20.
That,
Where'd that go?
that's more than enough. You can safely gather 2 uses of poison oak and 3 uses of poison ivy.
How many was the acorns?
There are a shit ton of acorns. 5. Say 5 uses of
Okay.
enough acorns to make 5 uses of ground oak powder.
Yeah, what the fuck do people use acorns for?
Ground corn.
Yeah, it's a very successful, quick foraging session. We'll say you look around for 20 minutes or so. Hop back to Teth.
I always sit here and consider what it would be like to not actually become unconscious or to sleep, but to still rest,
Mm-hmm.
and how I guess Teth would perceive that, or a being would perceive that, as they're like they have to remain motionless and still, but then they still have all these like things, this external stimuli coming in. If it becomes like fuzzy, it's like almost like ambient noise, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I think intentionally, Teth was waiting in his sentry's rest until everybody else left the house except for Urzok. And then he would kind of power on, come
Okay.
to, kind of look over. I imagine Urzok was cooking or maybe eating by this point. And Teth would kind of gently approach. And it's also been 2 weeks, so I can't remember if this is accurate or not in the exact wording. And it's not recorded, so couldn't rewatch it. But Teth's gonna look over towards Urzok and this is a nice place, Urzok. Very comforting. Very I don't know. It's It's not too much, but it's what you need, right?
Rzak will put down his food for a second and look up and say, you know, growing up, we didn't leave the temple for quite some time. It's always eager to leave. And you know, I remember the first time that I left on assignment. Thought maybe I'd never return, but out here, this is the best I can do to keep a little bit of home in my pocket.
I hope that you continue to carry that mindset with you and continue to hold on to those memories and values. This might be too soon, but I just wanted to give you my condolences. And Teth will kind of just give a nod and kind of slowly leave or start to leave the tower.
I have a question before you leave. You've been you've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Do you do you forget the ones of the past?
The what of the past?
I said, do you forget the ones from your past?
You know, that's kind of part of the reason I wanted to approach you, is because in my experience, you don't.
Well,
Hold on to that.
good. Grief may be a burden, but it's what still keeps them alive.
I really think that's the only reason I'm still here, if I'm honest. The memories of those who were lost.
Well, sure you're here for much more than that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here with us.
True.
And the way that I choose to live is we may lose, but doesn't mean we can't save others.
I have a question for the DM.
Go for it.
Is the, I guess I don't know what the quick word is, but like the lore behind the Eternal Blade, is that a commonly known thing, like across Azura? Like, would Teth be aware what that significance means as far as his longevity?
This is a very interesting point for you to ask that question, because by the end of this session, yes, it will be widespread knowledge. But up until this point, no, unless somebody has had direct contact with either Urzak or somebody else from his class of other Silver Dragonborn that were in the running for that. It's a rather tight circle, and Lendis is a really niche god to worship if you're not a part of that community. So just because of distance and ignorance, a lot of people don't know about it. I would say that go ahead and roll a history check, because I think
say,
that you might know about it.
I would say in my mind's eye that like yeah, like unless you're locally from or have been around or stayed in that area for a while, probably not.
We'll see where Teth was
I guess
stationed
they,
when
they
he
don't
was
have like a TV, so I mean, how does news really get spread, right?
Right.
16.
16. I would say that you would not have knowledge of that previously, unless between some conversations that you may have had with Urzak that we haven't played out in gameplay. You've definitely heard it in passing now, but I think before you met Urzak, you would have had no idea what that was.
I feel like he would have mentioned his age or being old at some point for sure, and then him not looking that.
That's what I'm
But
trying to keep
That's
together.
true.
I don't
I
know
know
that he
you
would
have
ever.
at some point, but I don't remember when it was.
Yeah.
I think you said you're what, 80 or 180 or
Mhm.
something?
So I'm trying to remember. And even if it was just like a quick comment, like if Tef was intelligent enough to be like, okay, there's something going on here if what he's saying is true, and Urzak isn't really keen about people lying, so okay. I guess to continue the conversation. I guess Urzak, all we can do is keep moving forward, right? Really, our only choice for us with significance.
Well, it's not the other choice, but it is the right one.
Suppose in his perspective, but I agree.
Razak
Enjoy your
will
breakfast.
throw back the rest of his breakfast and kind of dust himself off and say, "Oh, heading into town."
Yeah, I need to go find Eric. Need to go find Belle.
Right. Well, let's go.
There.
All right. You both exit the tower. Are there any specific things? Like, can you fortify the tower at all? Like, lock it or anything? I guess it doesn't really matter if you don't leave your personal stuff in there; it all disappears anyway.
Yeah, I think we can lock it, but
It's not stipulated on there.
I guess
but
I honestly I probably wouldn't even lock it. It's still within a wall, right? There's two
it is
walls.
within a. Yeah, it's between the two walls, but it's behind the higher one, so it's safe. Anybody that tries to get at it, it's going to get a seed in the gut. So
Yeah, I don't even think he would bother locking the door, to be honest.
that's fair.
I might put some string and a bell across the front door behind it on the ground.
Okay.
But shit, we'll be in.
Do you have string and a bell?
Yeah, I've got that.
Wait, does this thing not disappear every day?
24 hours.
It disappears after 24 hours. Yeah,
Okay.
along with everything that was conjured with the spell.
If I do it like 100 days in a row, what is it?
100 days in a row in the same
it's-
spot,
it's-
it becomes permanent, doesn't it?
It's a whole year.
Every day for a year. Yeah.
Good luck. It's free
Cheaper
real
than a
estate.
house.
After 50 years,
Have you
50
seen the
years, you
price
could
of
have a
houses?
whole city, which is great for Urza because you never age. So your whole life's purpose could be to build a new city with your bare hands,
Be so
your
fucking
bare
rich.
magical hands.
Can't
Think
Eric
about-
build a house in like a week or two though? I feel like that's the better.
It was a couple
approach.
days. It was
Yeah.
like 5 days.
Three days, whole
That
whole
was it, that
general
was it.
store. Hilarious. Yeah, so you the two of you exit the house and you meet up with Eric, who is done foraging, and also Des, who is he has caught a breakfast for himself, and he is flapping on down to meet you on the ground. Are you headed to? Are you headed to town? We can just fast track to town if you.
Everyone's just watching Dez like munch on a squirrel or something. Everyone's like taken aback, like, "Oh, Dez."
Jesus,
Oh my
man.
god!
Yeah.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
I
goes
thought
at
you were
it.
more man than bird, but clearly not.
Wouldn't you say
Savage.
you said he caught himself some breakfast, right? I'm only assuming
Yeah.
that's what you meant. He's just like,
Yeah.
He was
Found a
fishing,
rabbit.
Trent. He was
oh,
fishing.
fishing. That's it.
I imagine
I-
not a. I imagine
Does
rabbit.
Des eat poultry?
Yeah.
I just take another bird out of the sky. It's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, my daughter.
Birds eat other birds.
Birds do eat other birds. Birds
do?
of prey eat tiny birds all the time. I would say Des is nothing if not a bird of prey.
Yeah, he is definitely a bird of prey.
Yeah.
100%.
Just eats it like a, not a seagull, a pelican.
I wanted to make sure to grab
But like,
Eric.
Des has arms, but he still eats with his talons on his feet. Just like
Some
lifts his
habits
whole
die
leg
hard,
up,
you
just
know.
like,
Yeah.
I can't resist it. It's the falcon in me. Yeah. Is there anything that any of the three of you would like to do before you make your way back inside the limits of Mir?
I guess someone is homegirl still on gate duty, or is it she sleep during the day?
So she is on gate duty on the inner gate. We will get back to her in just a second with Brackle and Vern.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to make sure to round up Eric, and because I also know that I can't remember how much of last session Brad was in, but we were told we should go visit Belle. But beyond that, that's it.
I just heard the recap where you said Bell should help operate on
Yeah.
Trent or on Vern.
No, that was
Beth.
what was your name?
Man, I really fucked up with those names. I should.
Bell and Beth.
They're two very different
Yeah.
names.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
We just mess it up all the time.
Would
Beth.
a change be helpful? Because now is the time before they become more. Okay,
No,
cool.
I think great.
It's the text is on the screen. It's
Mhm.
set in stone.
That's true. Jesus. The text is on the screen.
It is decided.
We could always politely call
All
Beth
right.
Elizabeth now, since we offended her by lying.
I don't know. We'll see how she takes that.
Oh.
She's an opinionated old bird.
She's like, I'm a Bethany,
Helen
thank you.
Mirren from the capital. Then this is like Elizabeth Taylor.
It's actually Bethica.
Bethany.
You
Ooh.
fucks.
Bethaline.
All right. So we'll say Vern and Brackle, you caught up with Flynn, and the three of you make it to the gate. And the inner gate. And that's up here in the northeast side of the city. and you run into the same unfriendly vampire woman that helped escort you in last night. And I will share this with everybody once again, just so you can see her. So Brad is not in the dark. This is Eleanor. She does have her little winged companion on her shoulder. She has a very large axe, not clipped to her body. It is just in her hand, where it was last night too. In fact, you don't even see anywhere on her person that she can strap the axe to. You just assume she's always carrying it, ready to use it. And she will look at the three of you, and she'll just say, "Morning."
Good morning.
Good morning.
May I ask what your bird's name is?
Doesn't matter.
Rigby would be a great name.
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, doesn't
Yeah.
matter is its name?
Doesn't matter.
I have a bird too, and I like tap my pocket and let the little robo bird fly up.
Yeah, he'll happy as can be. He'll fly out of your pocket and do a little spin, and then fly back down.
Oh,
Well,
And Eleanor will look at you, and she'll say, "Cute."
Vern blushes, then goes, "Oh, you mean the bird?" And I like give Brack a little slap, and I laugh.
She will very slowly, making sure you see how shiny the blade is, move the axe up to her shoulder.
Okay, well, you seem really busy, so we are just going to head into town and make some pancakes. Would you like us to bring you back one as well?
She'll
Sure,
say, "I don't eat pancakes."
You've never tried our pancakes.
Oh my gosh, that's so loud.
It's true. It's nobody. It's true. Nobody has tried our pancakes because we've never made them before.
You could be one of the first.
She's like standing in front of the gate, and it's like a push gate. And she'll just kick the gate open, and she'll look past you again and say, "Just get inside."
Thank you. Have a great morning.
Fern after you. Flynn as well.
Vern will shuffle on in.
As he walks through behind the two of you, Flynn will quietly apologize and thank her for letting the three of you in.
Fern, I just love this little town. It's a quiet village.
Yes, it's
Every day like the one before.
and it's full of just like little people, you
Mhm.
know?
There's,
And maybe just about now they're waking up to say,
I would have to imagine they would say bonjour here.
is this because there's a bell that lives in this town? Is that
Yeah.
why?
Not spelled the same way, but I get it.
Fern, there goes that baker.
That's you. You're the bakers. You're
We're
about to
the
make
bakers.
pancakes.
We're the bakers.
But bread and rolls today, Brackle. Today we make pancakes.
So I'll let you lead up, and I'll be your sous chef, Vern. So you just tell me what you need.
Okay. Let's head on in.
As you head towards the community kitchen in the stables, Flynn will break off, and he is headed over to the barracks.
Okay.
All right,
Lincoln, do what he wants.
you
We don't
enter
care. We're
the
baking.
kitchen.
What a chatterbox.
There, it is truly a community kitchen. There is nobody currently inside, but it's a whole slew of cooking utensils, pots, pans, um, different types of uh, different types of utensils that you would use for various types of cooking.
All that kitchen
Anything that you
stuff.
could really imagine, all the kitchen stuff, as well as a wide variety of basic ingredients. You will notice that there is an absence of raspberries. There are no raspberries that you can find, but they're basically any other fundamental ingredient you can find somewhere inside of the cabinetry.
Vern walks over to a window that's like sort of facing like the forest in that direction, like northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And I summon my little bird, and I tell him, find raspberries.
It's like
Make
the It's like the first place the bird checks is Eric.
He just goes to Eric's pocket and like takes it out of his kiss.
Just blossoms by the hand.
Oh my god.
for the first time this campaign, I think, make an animal handling check.
Yay. Oh, that's just a D20 for me. All right. Maybe not yay.
I thought he did some of that when he met the bird.
Well, maybe.
Hey, okay. 18.
Hey, not bad. So the bird definitely understands your command. Hey, you got your milk?
Double fisted.
You going to bed?
That's my kind of guy.
Have a good night.
Milk in bed.
Double fisting milk.
Double
Hell
fisted
yes.
before bed.
Let's go. Beep. Want a kiss?
My boy's milk drunk.
I have a kiss. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yes, that is awesome.
Yes. Double
That is-
fisting those
Love
bottles.
you guys.
That is the best possible thing ever.
Move, Till. Psychopath, move.
Usually he doesn't grab two. That's a rare sighting that you guys got to see.
That's so funny.
He barely grabs one. He just like opens that we have a little mini fridge in here, and he'll open the fridge and just look at it and be like, get it for me. You
I really
have to
want
do
him.
it.
Really want him to stone cold Steve Austin the milks and just like smash them together and drink them.
Yeah. Yeah, with an 18, the bird, Vern Jr. Is that the name we're settling on?
No, let's do
So
something
the-
else. Because Vern,
Okay.
Vern isn't. I tend to play him a little arrogant, and he is arrogant, but he's not like that conceited that he needs to name everything after
No?
himself.
Not VJ?
Take your
No.
time. You take your time.
Let's see. No, I'll think of
Um,
something. It's a little electric bird.
Mark.
What's the famous name? Are there any like names of any mythological like thunderbirds or things like specifically, and we can add like a little diminutive.
Zapdos.
Zapdos?
Zapdos. I think Zapdos might stick. That's pretty amazing.
Perfect.
Famous electric birds.
So you send him out the window, and he goes out and scours the forest. And about 10 minutes goes by, but he returns with a small sprig of raspberries, and you have about 7 raspberries.
Good work, little Zapdos.
He's a tiny bird, so he
He can't
doesn't
carry
have
a lot.
of. Yeah, doesn't
He's
have a lot of
attached.
carrying capacity.
You did a really nice job. So nice, in fact, that I bet you could get 7 more.
Roll a separate animal handling check, please.
How Vern's management skills are.
All of a sudden, he's now totally unaware. He's like,
Oh no, he's more excited this time. He's like, I've already been out there. I definitely remember where the plant was that I found this in, and
He's
he
not coming
darts
back,
out the
is he?
window again.
Oh no.
It's about 7 minutes, 10 minutes ish. He comes back with a sprig of berries that do look like raspberries.
Wow.
You
Oh,
did
you found
so
more?
well, Zapdos. Okay, back into the pocket with you.
And he'll
Very nice.
and just go back down into your pocket.
Well, as soon as in the pocket, I just swipe the other berries into a trash can. The mysterious, clearly poisonous, not quite raspberries.
Vern, what are you doing? We need those. We only have 7
Actually,
raspberries.
Vern, with a 3, make a survival check. Actually,
Oh, because I touch them? They're that poisonous.
no, no,
Okay.
make a survival check.
Okay. I don't know why I bother checking. It's still just a +0. Oh god.
Oh, you 100% think those are raspberries.
Oh
You
no. Okay.
absolutely believe they're raspberries.
Oh, poor Beth. Okay.
Yeah, this would be a bad bet.
I love all the slight variations of the raspberries in this area. This is
Yeah, those ones
This is
look
wonderful.
extra red.
And now we have what? We have 14.
That's perfect. That's plenty to make raspberry
You
jam,
know,
I think.
You know,
Is there anything we
that's-
need maybe from the stands out there? I could
Well,
I
hang
could
on.
go out
Before
and
we get started, Brackle, since we have so many now, maybe I'm being a little greedy and I'll sneak one for myself. Vern takes one of the new berries and he pops it into his mouth.
I'll take one too.
Cool.
It's really bitter.
Both of you roll. Well, they have to be the same. Vern, roll a percentile die.
This just kills us. After all this.
Instant death.
On the spot, you both drop dead.
You roll a 1 on that D100, you're dead.
No, that's a good roll. Cool. You may carry on.
It's really
I'm now
bitter.
learning that they're bad. Okay. Oh, all right, fine. I guess they're not so bad then. And Brackle's fine too, right? We're both two people with different digestive systems. We're fine in consuming these berries.
You are currently fine.
Let's
Okay.
keep a couple off out of the jam, and we could use them as a little bit of design on top.
Ooh, yeah, it's just like a garnish.
I call these my metagaming berries.
Perfect. Love it. All right, we go and grab some flour.
Perfect.
And I've never made
Yeah.
pancakes.
Yeah, just try and do it without any recipes. We'll see what we can think of.
All right,
Yeah,
flour.
I need you to lay out your recipe right now. And neither of you have proficiency in cook's utensils, right? Okay,
no,
perfect.
absolutely
All right, continue.
I have proficiency with a pan flute, and it has pan in the name. So
Ooh,
Yeah, try
yes.
using
Let's use that in the cooking.
You
Use
can use
for
that to
stir.
stir the batter. Yeah.
oh, just
Aerate the
bubbles in
batter.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see, flour.
Flour.
I have to assume we got to throw an egg in there, right?
Yeah, we'll do a couple eggs. Do eggs and milk exist in this pantry somehow?
Yeah, we'll have like condensed milk.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Just a little
Condensed
milk.
milk. We also need a little. Is there any vanilla? Like a little bit of vanilla.
You don't find any vanilla, but you do. If you're looking specifically for flavorings, you could find a couple cinnamon sticks.
Okay.
Shave a little bit in there, maybe.
Yeah, just a little bit. Maybe one for garnish as well. Just like
So
sticking
I
straight
think
to the
that's
middle.
great. Should we leave it in bigger chunks, or should we try and grind it up? Like, what do you think?
Let's
No.
I think let's leave a chunk right in the center of the pancake. You bite
Because
into.
it might be a little change in texture. Might be nice.
You're right. You're right.
The
Okay.
soft and then the crunch.
We're gonna try varying sizes of cinnamon. So we'll break it up.
Okay.
We
What else? Is there anything else? Maybe
Um,
maybe a little butter.
yes. Yes, is there condensed butter in the pantry?
Um, yeah, there. We'll say that there's like goat's butter or something like that.
Excellent.
Okay. And how are we feeling, by the way? As we're assembling ingredients.
Feeling good.
Still fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That
waiting
was-
for the
Metaberries
moment.
haven't killed you yet.
I'm waiting for the moment that we just violently shit ourselves.
Well, what should I? How do I make jam, Trent?
Oh, Trent. Who's Trent?
Oh, Vern. Uh,
Let's see.
Brackle
jam.
just 1,000-yard stairs out.
One of my scouts back from the compound. You just remind me of him, so it's uncanny how much you look like.
Oh God.
Things get weird out there.
Well, for jam, let's get a mortar and pestle.
Okay.
And we'll take the original raspberries. And we'll throw in a couple of the new berries. And hope the
That was
ratio.
bitter. I think
It
it
was
was
a
good.
little-
It was like a sweet and a bitter. I think they'll be
Yeah, I
good
think
together.
together, I
Mhm.
mean, she's older. She doesn't want anything too sweet. You know what I mean? So this will
Mhm.
help kind of like cut the flavor a little bit.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
So we'll mix both of the berries together.
Mhm.
All of
So
the all
we
of the berries. They're not different. They're all raspberries.
we do that along with what else would make jam?
Sugar.
Sugar? Yeah, I just talked about cutting the sugar, but no, we'll add some sugar now too. Little pinch of
There
sugar.
you go.
And is that enough to make jam? Barlos, what does it
I
look
think
like?
so.
So with those ingredients
Yeah.
smashed up, what do we have in our pestle?
Do we,
Uh,
what would we roll? Survival?
I am going to have you roll.
I don't know what food making is. Nature?
Yeah, I'll have you both roll
See,
nature,
no.
separate nature checks.
Okay.
Who's making the pancakes and who's making the jam?
I'd probably be making the jam since he's the chef, so he's probably cooking up
All right,
those
so
cakes.
I need a nature roll from both of you. Vern for the pancakes, Brackle for the jam.
Oh, nice.
Jam won't be so bad.
13's pretty good for a pancake, but
Mhm.
that's up to the DM.
And we're not making a souffle here. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah,
Pretty
pancakes
simple,
are a little more rustic.
Yeah.
Is
They
there
made
is
them
there
on,
any
they made them on the prairie, you know?
is there any place to like a collection or something to like either pay for or replenish like the community supplies?
You don't see anything in the immediate area that would be
Okay.
any type of like monetary collection, like a collection plate or like an alms box or anything like that. But I'm sure they wouldn't say no to a replacement of the ingredients or an addition of a new ingredient sometime in the future.
All right. I'll talk to Silgath and see kind of what we need to do.
Good option. Yeah. So what comes out after you cook these up? They look like pancakes. They seem to be maybe not perfectly circular. They're a little bit oblong, but the jam seems to gel pretty well together, and it lays nicely on top of the fluffy cake-like substance that you've created. And they sit on the plate, so without falling apart. So you did a pretty good job.
Okay. With our garnish raspberries, I want to make a little heart on the top of the pancake pile.
Hey, that's a good touch.
Mhm.
Nice. Yeah. So you have successfully created a pancake adjacent dish.
Okay. And we're saving 2 for Urzak.
Okay.
Oh, we need to save one for Eleanor as well.
She was really interested. All right, so we have a stack for Beth, 1 for Eleanor, and one for Urzak.
I'll go outside and get maybe, I don't know, like 2 pieces of paper maybe from one of the storefronts, see if anybody has a couple sheets of like butcher's paper or something like that. Wrap them up. Or get cloth or whatever is available.
You would be able to find that right there in the kitchen. There are plenty of. They'll have like cheesecloths.
Perfect.
Just they're readily available that you can wrap that in.
They won't get any jam, but at least they'll get the pancakes.
Hey man, 50% isn't bad.
Well, good. Well, we should head over, and I think we better be ready for some chastising.
All right.
All right, we're gonna jump back to the other half of the party with Urzak, Eric, Teth, and Dez walking up to the doorway or the gateway. Go away.
I hear where? Where?
All day he just wants to get in here, and then the moment he's in, he's like, "Actually, no, I think I'd rather be out there in the hallway."
Get me out of here!
You can't keep a door closed, Barlos.
Yeah, so you make it to the gate, and Eleanor is there with her axe still up on her shoulder. And same greeting as before to the other half of the party. She looks at the 4 of you, and she says, "Morning."
Morning.
Seth will just nod.
Plans today?
Well, supposed to go see Oric. Do you know of him?
Work with him?
Yep. See. I don't know. Get along good enough.
Good enough.
Good.
Good. And she, just like with Vern and Brackle, she will kick the gate open behind her and just kind of motion you through without saying anything else.
Urzak will like
Nice.
start walking a little bit, and he'll kind of stop when he's next to her. Say, "But it's going to be another damp here, I assume. Uh, by the name Ash. Think you two will get along." And then he'll just walk in.
She'll look at you and she will roll her eyes and then look back out towards the forest.
Perfect.
Almost as if on cue. All right, yeah, you are in, and as you are walking in, you are crossing paths with Vern and Brackle, carrying a plate of pancakes and several other pancakes inside of cheesecloths.
Good morning, guys. Again.
I'll just reach into my pack and give the pancakes to Vern.
Okay.
For Mr. Urzak.
Urzak, this is for you. I'm sorry for accidentally, unintentionally insulting your beautiful tower. It really is a splendid piece of architecture, and I hope you find these pancakes made with love equally splendid.
How does Urzak take that?
He's
That's a
just
sweet apology.
just looks at Vern, grabs the pancake, and he's just he'll just like fold them like a taco and just eat them a la carte.
I've done that before.
And he'll say,
As have I.
"Oh, it's all right. Just I'll let you sleep outside next time."
Noted.
He'll grin and kind of give him like a shoulder, little like elbow bump, and
I turned to Brackle. I'm like, see, we're cool now.
I do like
I
would do like a secret, like a fist bump to
Yeah.
Vern, like a low bump.
Are we? So we crossed paths with them. They just came through Eleanor's gate. Is Eleanor also like kind of nearby?
Eleanor is right up here, and you guys are like in here. So you're pretty well into the town,
Okay.
but you could see the back of her head. She is on the outside of this gate, facing outwards.
Okay. Brackle, why don't you deliver these ones to Eleanor? I feel like you two hit it off a little more smoothly than she and I did.
You got it. Brecker will start like not full sprint running. He'll just start running.
Trotting over to the gate. Oh, Eleanor, hey.
Um,
We'll play that real quick, and then we'll
Okay.
switch over to either Urzak or Eric and Teth.
Perfect.
So you get to the gate, and Eleanor is facing away from you on the outside.
Hey, Eleanor.
She'll turn around. Yes.
Here's that pancake we said we were making. Would you like it?
Would you like to eat that?
Not this one because it's for you.
Take a bite.
You want me to take a bite of it?
Take a bite of it.
Do you want me to pull it off or just like just into
Just
my mouth?
bite it. Just take a bite of it.
He just like watches her the whole time and just like takes a bite, chews it and swallows it.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think so.
Give me it. Give me it.
I hand it to her.
And she'll just keep it in her hand, and she'll turn around and look back out.
Okay, I'll just like you can switch over to the other guys, but like I'll just wait there for like a few minutes to see if she like eats it, just like like peeking over or like through a crack or something.
How long are you waiting?
I would say like 5 minutes at the most.
She does not take a bite in 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's just she has her axe in her left hand over her shoulder, and the pancake just like down at her side in her right hand.
Okay. I'll make a mental note to check the area to see if she threw the pancake away.
Okay. Perfect.
Right.
Who wants to go first? Urzak or Eric and Teth?
First, because you said my name first.
Great. Urzak, are you going to go talk to Warwick at the barracks? If not, what else would you like to do?
Straight to the barracks.
Okay. So you walk all the way down this path to the barracks, and upon entering, this is a rather large room, kind of a warehouse style, maybe 150 feet long. By and large, the greatest first floor area in the largest service area of a first floor building in the town. It is very large, and it is kind of segmented up into stalls, almost reminiscent to the tithes quarters in a compound, but they're a little bit bigger. And then at the very back of this main hall is a large sparring court. So there are dummies set up on sticks. There's a sparring ring for people to practice hand-to-hand combat. There are some targets set up along the walls on the far wall to practice archery. And you are familiar with a lot of this stuff because you spent time in Farinth in very similar places. So it seems very comfortable for you. Upon entering, you do not immediately see anybody, but you can hear some voices down further towards the training area.
Yeah, we'll head on back.
Okay. And you'll kind of hear a very loud voice that you do not recognize kind of carry through the entire hall. and a very soft voice that you do recognize, that you have seen rather recently. You would recognize it to be Marawil, who is all the way down towards the end of the barracks, and she is talking to a very large blue dragonborn named Warwick.
Whoa. He's a big boy.
Donkey Beast.
Big old boy. Big old boy.
It's what's the guy from Moana? Maui?
He's the dragonborn version of Maui for sure.
That's sick.
And as you approach, his back is towards you, but Mara will sees you right away, and she will run up to you as quickly as her old bones will allow. She'll kind of like trot over to you, very Brackle running over to Eleanor-esque. And she'll say, "Good morning. I was hoping that this would be your first stop."
Morning. I didn't expect to see you here.
I didn't expect to be here. I have something for you.
Great.
And she will.
And he'll turn to Warwick and say, who's your friend?
Oh, this is Warwick. He is in charge of the guard here. Doesn't see much action because not many people venture into this forest, but he's very good at his job. And he'll kind of approach, just like lumbering behind her. And he'll say, "Hey, Urzok. Marwill's told me so much about you. Very good to meet you."
Likewise. Extend a hand and shake.
He will take it in both of his hands, and he'll double handshake you.
I'll double handshake him back.
He responds very well to that. He's like, "Oh, you can always tell a good fighter by a strong handshake, and that goes double for a double handshake."
So I'll smile and nod. Say, I got to meet your cohort at the gate earlier. Friendly type.
Eleanor?
That's
She
the
is-
one.
She's much nicer once you get to know her.
Oh, she's very pleasant.
I'm sure she wasn't, but that's very kind of you to say.
Well, I suppose if friendly isn't necessarily the first quality you look for in a guard either way.
She's strong, she's loyal, and she's really scary with that axe. And those the three top things I look for.
Marwa, you said you had something for me.
Yes, I almost forgot. And she will kind of rifle around in her bag, and she will produce a scroll, and she will hand it over to you. And she'll say, "Was working on this the last time I saw you, and I just finished it earlier this morning. Ported over here to give it to you myself. I thought it was important."
I'll open the scroll and assume it's the teleport akin scroll.
You open the scroll and you cannot read it. You have no idea what it says.
Just give a nod and try to hide his blatant ignorance.
Go
Good.
ahead.
Good. Great. It's thank you.
You're welcome. I tried to work on it extra quickly so you could have it.
And just so I can tell the others exactly what this is.
Oh, of course, of course. Not everybody can read my handwriting, of course. That is a spell scroll that allows you to cast Cerebral Gate, which is a spell that Gael and I created together.
Marvel, I'm going to be very honest with you. I cannot read a goddamn thing on this page.
That's okay. I think there are other people in your party that may be able to use it.
Oh, good. Surely hope so.
And she'll kind of walk. She's maybe I don't know, like 8 feet away from you, not really in your personal space. And she'll kind of walk a little bit closer to you, and she'll say, "Honestly, all you have to do is lead them through, and they'll follow you. You don't have to be the one that casts it." And she'll give you a little pat on the shoulder.
Thank you. I appreciate you making the trek.
Of course, always good to see my recent acquaintances. Most of
Just
the
like-
time with the tithes, I only have one left at the end.
I guess we're just special like that.
I suppose so. Is there anything else that you would need from me before I go? I'm about to make my way back to the capital.
I don't think so. I wish everyone else was here to answer that question, but
Well, I can
suppose-
certainly stay around for a little bit. I don't have anything pressing to get to. I'll hang around here for a while.
Are you obviously you're here in one piece? Are you capable of? Well, I suppose you just come here by the cerebral realm.
The thing that nobody tells you, and I suppose nobody in this case is just Gael, the thing that Gael is bad about explaining to other people is that it's much, much easier to travel through the cerebral realm by yourself. The moment that multiple minds have to agree on where to go, that's when things get muddled and things get much more difficult. If you go down by yourself, you only have yourself to trust, and you don't have to fight with anybody else's thoughts.
Interesting. Well, thank you for this. And Warwick, it was good to meet you.
You too! Oh, it was so great!
Perhaps I'll be by later to keep my bones loose.
I would love that. I've heard so much about you. You're apparently very strong, so that is exciting.
Herzog will just give him like an up and down and just say, I hope I don't disappoint you in that.
He'll say, "Oh, absolutely, you won't," and kind of give you like a playful like punch in the shoulder, and it hurts.
Cannon.
And he will walk back to the sparring circle, kind of laughing with Marwill about something.
Great.
All right, we're going to cut over to Teth and Eric. So this is a place that I actually made a map for because I felt like it needed it. So you are walking up to the northwest portion of the town, up to this tower. On the bottom floor is Bell's workshop, and on the top floor is an observation deck. I'm going to move over here. And you walk in, and you see sitting behind this table another blue dragonborn. And there's a mixture, a very odd mixture on the tables surrounding you, many plants, as well as a large assortment of tools, partially built contraptions. You can see what look like little cages with things inside of them, and a lot of things that it would seem to be are like half done. She'll look up and she'll say, "Hello. I wasn't expecting anyone."
Death will look over towards Eric, then look back towards the plants.
So, sorry, because of missing last session, I think Eric would talk first. I mean, Teth not being social,
that.
outgoing. Yeah, I'm just having a hard time because I didn't.
So pretty
we're
much,
here to.
It's
an
you
herbalist.
missed very, very little. The only thing that you missed is that Silgath knows that you are interested in herbalism, and he suggested that you come see Belle, and that's the only context you really have.
And it's Teth. What's Teth's purpose here?
He suggested that both of you come see Belle. She's an herbalist and a tinkerer.
Okay. Greetings. Apologize if you were working on a project, but we've come here on Silgath's recommendation.
Silgath's recommendation carries a lot of weight around here. I am Belle.
Nice to meet you. We just came into town last night, and Mir's a wonderful place. Especially enjoy the tree of all seasons.
The tree, it's one of our greatest features. Is there anything specific that I could help you with?
Specific, yes. I'm currently trying to heal a friend in the capital of her poisonous mold in her building.
Do you know what kind of mold?
I probably should. I mean, unless there's a high DC.
I
on
think
that
we
mold.
decided that it was black mold. Yeah, I
That's
think
right.
that we did
Yeah.
make that decision. Yeah, so you would know that. Yeah.
It's black mold, and it's inside the support beams, up and down the building.
Okay. Hold on, and she will kind of turn, and it you can only see her from behind this table, and it's kind of more of a desk type thing, so you can't see through the table. She turns, and you see her as she comes out this way, that she is actually sitting in a wheelchair. And she will wheel herself over to this plant right here. You see her reach up and snip a couple leaves off, and wheel herself back in to here. And she's kind of fumbling behind the desk. And she'll kind of look up from the desk and she'll say, how much mold are we talking?
And I would describe the size of the general store to her. So the answer is probably a lot. Like a lot of mold.
Okay. Specifically a lot. That's the mark we're going for. She will say, and she'll give you kind of like a little like half smile, like kind of like an awkward smile, and she'll say, if you're like me, I like to make this myself. Do you want me to make it, or do you want to learn how to make it?
Oh, I'm certainly willing to spend the time to learn it myself. Yeah, these formulas, I just gotta know them.
She brings out another mortal and Jesus, why do I keep saying that? Mortar and pestle of her own, and the it's made of the bowl is a typical stone, but the actual grinder its head is made of diamond, and she is crushing the leaves from this plant, and she has a few different beakers in front of her, and she's adding different liquids in front of you, and she kind of shakes it up and puts it into this little compartment that she has on this desk right here. It's a small little box, a ceramic box. She puts it in there and closes the door, and then she directs her attention. She stops paying attention to you altogether, Eric, and she will turn to Teth, and she'll say, "What can I help you with?"
I don't believe I've introduced myself quite yet.
I don't think so either.
Pleasure to meet you, Bell. As Eric said, we were sent on recommendation from Silgath.
Silgath's recommendation carries lots of weight around here. Very nice to meet you.
You as well.
You as well.
My does she look infatuated with Teth?
No, not at all.
Okay. Trying to figure out what this vibe is. um so sorry, Teth will continue to speak as I put my crab rangoons away. Yeah. My name is, or well, I go by Teth. Have you seen anything? Have you seen anybody similar to me before? In build.
And she thinks for a long time. It's like a minute and a half where she just kind of like, no, I don't think that I have.
Well, we've been told that you are a tinker of sorts. Is this correct?
I would say so. And she kind of like motions around the warehouse to all of the things that are very well put together, but clearly not finished. And she'll say, I think my technical work speaks for itself when I can remember to finish entire projects.
Well, I suppose I have what I'm looking for. What is it in common? A request? Maybe something you can help me with?
I can do that. I have plenty of items here for sale on hand, but I can always attempt to learn something new to make for you.
And Teth will walk in front of this is a little table, I take it.
Yeah, like a desk table.
I have something. Teth is going to pause for a moment and kind of remember where he's at and think like, okay, if there's people to trust, like this town feels pretty good. Anti-caster, it's small. Silgas kind of leading the charge on this from what he's seen. And he'll look over towards Bell, and he'll reach into his robot pocket and produce the orb of the Presidium. And he's going to hold it up. And he's going to say, my friend, Vern, has given me some ideas on how much power this is capable of producing. Just reciting from memory, he said something around the lines of 6 to 7 million coils. My body is capable, or has in the past been capable, of harnessing large amounts of power, but not quite to that extent. I mean, we're talking maybe 100,000 coils as an average. I guess to get to the point, I'd like to create a harness
To put it on your body.
Yes, to mount it directly over here on this side into
Oh,
my armament.
like a heart.
Yes.
You want me to give you a mechanical heart?
Yes. However, again, this is incredibly powerful. I think that there needs to be some sort of shut off, or I'm not super. I'm somewhat familiar with our arcane magic or arcana, but I don't know the logistics of how this would work mechanically. Something to
Well, you would need a limiter.
that thing. Yes.
What are you made out of?
Teth just like looks down. Does Teth know what he's made out of?
I have no idea what you'd even roll for that. History, I
no.
guess. Roll history. A lot of Teth rolls are history checks.
You know, that's okay because
That's who I
I'm actually
remember from the
proficient.
war.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I gave myself proficiency.
I need to remember my 300 years of history really well.
Yeah. Dirty 20.
Yeah, you would a combination of different types of steel and arcane infused metals, a few finer alloys, maybe some platinums and golds, just for aesthetic on the top, but a lot of layers of harder metals underneath, like steel and iron. And then I would imagine there's probably some type of leather padding in there as well, so you're not just like grinding on top of yourself as you're moving. I would think, I think that would be the bulk of it, and everything else would just be nominal,
Yeah, I think his test kind of explaining this, and he's just kind of trying to summarize it up. So yeah, there is quite a bit of things. Kind of sum it up. It was built as well. You can see I'm not small. I was built as a tank, essentially.
You are large.
Thank you.
Large.
Yes.
Yes.
Is this size? Will the size be an issue with the
No.
orb?
What is the orb made of?
I'm pretty sure it's and I don't know if I'm misremembering this or this is just what Tess gonna say. I'm pretty sure it's I don't know, like the essence of a god of the Presidium or something. It's kind of hard to explain.
She will physically recoil at that, like out of excitement, not out of fear. She has never seen something, never seen in person a power source ever be related to a god of anything. And she'll say, just one second. I need to go upstairs, and you will see her wheel herself about this far, and then the wheelchair begins to move by itself, and her arms are free, and she's just wheeling over to this door. She opens the door, and in front of her you can see a staircase going up, kind of up and around. You would assume it goes around the outside of this tower, um, and the wheels on her wheelchair fold down like this, and it starts hovering above the ground, and you see her just hover up the stairs out of sight. And she's gone for like 10 minutes, so you and Eric have plenty of time around here.
Was that too much, Eric? Should I have laid it on a little lighter?
I don't know that, there really could be any lighter. We're dealing with some pretty heavy deity shit.
Yeah,
This is true. How's
pretty
your
heavy deity shit.
how's your black mold killer looking?
Did Belle didn't like
She has not removed it from the box yet.
Yeah.
I thought
The little
she
jar that
did.
she mixed up is still
So I feel
inside of
like-
the ceramic box
yeah.
on the desk.
I guess he would look into it and say, "How's your black mold killer looking?" He just looks at the jar on the desk.
Well, better than not having a clue how to make that. Prior, I mean, Silgath definitely knows some pretty smart people here. No, I was definitely surprised that she either made the contraption she's sitting in herself, or that she's not a healer enough, because she seems smart, to her condition obviously is irreversible.
Did she have legs? But she was using, like, she wasn't.
She
amputated,
does
right?
have legs. Yes, she does have legs.
Because that'd be a funny statement if I saw she had no legs. It looks like it's irreversible.
Yeah, that's how I was like, she had legs,
And
right?
those legs they look pretty gone. So
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked is because of rejuvenation or regeneration.
right. Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
really-
she
really
definitely
powerful
does have, like, she has all of her limbs that you would expect an adult dragonborn to possess. She just is in a wheelchair, and you have not seen her legs move. So to the best of your knowledge, it is legit.
So I've been in campaigns with Dragonborn since we started the Tithes, but I've got to look at, was it Fitzbin's Treasury of Dragons?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's just neither here nor there. But so we're sitting here for a few minutes.
What'd you say? You want to take a nap?
He was so tired.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking at any moment.
Yeah, Eric would just talk to Teth about his orb plans. I mean, not that he's the one devising this, but yeah, you've got to have like an off switch or something, like an
Yeah.
eject button. I don't know what it's
Yeah.
going to take, but
So, I guess my idea, and then as a note, just above game, like Teth, I imagine that Teth was used to like very cerebral people like Zethlo, and he's just incredibly used to just waiting for like half hour at a time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go do this thing, and then just walk away, and then come back half hour later, and Teth's just like waiting, just like, okay, you're done with the thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much how they operate. Yeah.
And then for my thing, I'm telling Teth this. I can't wait to go back and whatever recipe she gives me, just go tinker for a whole work day and get that recipe down. And man, none of you guys are gonna have to deal with black mold ever again. That or any other poison. Hopefully, it's universal.
I've heard black mold is pretty nasty. Can't speak from experience. I guess to answer your question, yes, there is going to be a limiter or shut off. I want it as a backup power source. I'm just going to outright tell you, during the war, we were I guess when we would go to do missions or we would go out on assignment, we would be energized, we would be charged, we would be aided by groups of very powerful magic users. It's like the only thing that I can kind of relate it to is, so you use magic, you cast spells. Imagine you could do that, use your magic, but not expend any resources, any energy. That is probably the closest thing I can compare it to. But the only reason I thought about this is because they used to juice us up, essentially. They would juice us up and they would send us out there and we would, well, depending on the assignment, usually do a lot of killing. So that's why I thought about it, and backup power supply. Ideally, not as much killing this time around.
As you mentioned that, Teth, Elle comes back down the stairs. She powers her way down the stairs. And the doors, you will notice, close automatically behind her. And as she's coming down the stairs, like going from the bottom step onto the ground floor, the wheels will shift back down automatically and just nice and easily go back into a rolling motion onto the floor. A nice smooth motion from the steps onto the ground. And she will come back over to you behind the desk and just drop a bunch of scraps onto the table. Just say, I thought about this on the way up to the storeroom and all the way back down. And I think to attach something as a power source onto your body, there needs to be, and she will just repeat almost verbatim what you just told Eric to be what you think is necessary to do it. And she was not within earshot of you. So she'll start picking apart the pieces in front of you, and she'll hold up what already appears to be a circular piece of metal, kind of a casing type of thing. It seems to be a little bit bigger than the orb itself. And she says, this is a little big, I think, but we can insulate it. This is what's called winter steel. It is forged in the it is mined for in the southwest regions of our continent, and it is very low conduction. So you can use this to house power supplies, and it won't generate electricity within itself. I think that's probably our best bet. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's a good idea. It's again, you're the mastermind behind this request. So whatever ideas you have, I will pursue.
My one thing I can't figure out is how to keep the orb in place while I'm working. In my experience, large power sources like this, especially non-coil power sources, things that are more arcane or more otherworldly, tend to not want to attach themselves until they're bonded. So we would either need to make sure that you are 100% in tune with this item, or we would need a second one to counteract the what would she say? Counteract the frequency of it. Do you have another one?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
However, I do have a method of bonding with this, so maybe I can work on that in the interim.
Yes, keep doing that, and I think we're off to a great start.
Excellent. Is there raw material that you require? The winter steel maybe, or
As much winter steel as you can find. To my knowledge, there is none that occurs naturally in the forest, but you might find one in the camp to the southeast. They seem to hoard lots of stuff that doesn't belong to them. We don't get along with them very well, but they don't bother us. So you win some, you lose some.
what you said a camp is obviously you don't get along, but these
Yes, they set up a barracks a while ago, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. Call themselves the Piro Barracks, and we've only reached out one or two times. Never threatening, but not necessarily friendly.
understand. The other question for you is, let's say I acquire this winter steel. What do you require in return?
Ah, 1 second. She will stop paying attention to you entirely and turn to the small ceramic box that is on her desk. And she'll open it up and she will put on a large rubber glove onto her right hand and reach in and pull out the same vial that she put it in before. It is a completely different color. It's a bright purple. And she will just hand it to Eric.
What do I owe you?
This is just a sample. You can come back and pay me when you want to learn how to make this yourself. I call it a potion of ungrowth.
Man, that would have been really useful, Eric, with those seeds.
That's a very good point. Mr. Robot. So Bell, maybe you could clue me in that golden plant over there. And actually, I mean, DM, I have the herbalism kit says that I have proficiency to like identify most plants.
Mhm.
So what do I know about that golden plant?
Make a nature check.
Nature, okay. I'm gonna use my die that wasn't rolling very well for the temple. 15, 22.
Yeah, with a 22, you recognize that plant very easily. That is a large wild hibiscus plant.
Okay.
And when they're grown in this way, you would also know that the blue plant next to her is a night hibiscus plant.
Okay.
Night as in nighttime, not night as in swords and shields. But wild hibiscus, when brewed with specific bonding liquids and heated, can help disrupt plant growth.
Say that again. Heated to.
When you mix it with different bonding liquids, which you can learn from Bell if you'd like, and heated, it can be used to disrupt like natural growth. So she is giving it to you in the hopes that it will disturb the growth of the mold inside of the
Mhm.
general store.
Okay. And then she mentioned the camp of barrack. You say they're like hostile right now, or just
They are not particularly hostile, no, but they are not friendly.
yeah.
They haven't threatened any violent acts against the Dampier. They just have been very cold.
You know, Belle, you remind me of somebody.
Zethla.
Oh, I don't think that I've met you.
Met me?
Yeah, don't think that I've ever met you. That doesn't make sense.
I've met somebody like you, but not met you.
Oh, who?
Gail. Friend of mine.
Okay.
Ironically, you have the same profession. To an extent.
I like their job.
They do as well.
Okay.
So, let me ask you this. Winter Steel,
Yes.
as much as I can get,
Yes.
is this something that you can use for your own devices or crafting? Is it worth
Well,
tweaking?
I surely would use any extra for making my own projects or making things to sell. But ideally, I would replace some of your existing parts with it.
Ah. Okay.
The way I see it now, probably most of the top half of your left arm and a good chunk of the top of your chest.
That makes sense. You're going to need a lot.
I will. As much as you can get.
You weren't kidding. Well,
Anyway, there's a project upstairs I need to work on. Goodbye. And she will just turn without any other pleasantries and go back upstairs.
yep. She reminds me 100% of Gail, Eric. That is 100% how she acts. Very awkward. Kind of endearing. Okay, I'm going to leave.
So the two of you walk out. There was going to be a bit about her not wanting to burn Eric's hand, but then he left. So So Eric, you just got your potion, and the two of you walk out back into the main square of Mir, and you reconvene with Urzak around this area, right around here.
I've been waiting all night to see how these pancakes turn out, Michael Barlos. So, you know.
Oh, they didn't give one to Urzak. All right, let's jump over to Vern and Brackle. You have just parted ways with Urzak. You've watched him walk across the square here into the barracks. Eric and Teth have gone into the observation deck, or into Bell's workshop. And the two of you now are standing in front of Beth's home.
Right. Well.
Oh, I forgot
You-
to show you guys.
Oh, what she looks like?
Here
Let's
goes
see this enchanting woman. Ooh. Yes. Okay.
And then I will also show you Beth.
Wait, Beth.
Wait,
oh, wait.
no, I won't.
Her
I won't
name's,
show you Beth.
her name's Tarabelle.
Terrible.
Tarabelle, actually.
Clearly not an antagonist or anything.
That's why she goes
Terrible.
by Belle.
Was
She goes by Belle.
She's terrible.
was that explained why the last names are 7-piece for Warwick and Terabell?
Oh, they're related.
It was not explained, and they didn't tell you their last names. Although Silgath did,
They're
Um,
lovers.
he did not explain their relationship. No.
That's all.
All right, you're standing in front
So we
of the
don't
door.
get to see Beth.
You
All
haven't
right.
seen her yet.
All right, Sous Chef, you ready for this?
As ready as we'll ever be.
Okay. I
She doesn't want. She apparently can pick out lying.
right. So we'll try
And-
to avoid that best we can.
Yes. Unfortunately, that's my strength. But we'll do what we can.
Okay. I knock on the door.
You hear from inside almost immediately a very steady and then the door opens, and this is the face that you see behind the door greeting you.
This is the face.
That's hilarious.
It is an obscenely old woman.
Mhm.
She
Very-
appears to be in her late 80s, early 90s, to your best guess.
A little avian looking too.
She is hunched
Mhm.
over, wearing all black. She is also notably the first resident here in the city that is not blue. She has a very dark tan complexion, and she has a big, thick cane in her right hand, with a stopper that is made out of some type of kind of orangish red, like burnt orange gemstone at the bottom. And that's what was hitting the floor as she was walking up to the door. And she pulls open the door and she'll say, "Yes."
Did someone order pancakes?
And then
No.
we'll put it out.
Yeah.
With the raspberry jam.
And she'll look at both of you. She'll kind of like, her eyes will go between the two of you. She'll say, "Silgath told you that I had a talking to with him this morning, didn't he?"
And we're so sorry about him. Jeez.
Yeah, he misdirected us, and he seems really apologetic, though. You know,
Mm-hmm.
stop lying right away. It's so hard.
We're very sorry about last night, man.
Yeah, we're really sorry about that. That is
We were-
definitely.
We were in a panic.
Mhm.
He
I'm still
does-
seated,
Yeah,
so you
he
know.
has
that's-
big old seed in his stomach.
Come inside. Check the lies at the door. keep your clothes on.
I forgot I did that.
And she will walk back into the door and keep the door open. So
Okay.
she is welcoming you into her house.
All right.
Ooh, and what does her house look like?
So
Did she
it's
take the
very small.
pancakes?
She did not take the pancakes from you directly, no.
Mm.
The house is rather small. There's only one story, so that it's she's a relatively small woman. She's hunched over. So the ceilings are a little bit shorter than the two of you are used to. They're only about 7 feet high, so you feel very boxed in as you walk into this this room. Her house is split up, as far as you can tell, into 3 main spaces. The big space that you walk into right inside of the door is a living area. She has a small couch-like piece of furniture and a rocking chair next to that. The couch is right next to a fireplace. And then if you go further in, back to your left, there is a small kitchenette type area. And then back in the back of the house, it wouldn't be too egregious of you to assume those are living quarters, bedroom and bathroom type thing. But from where you can see, it is a very small living space, and everything is covered in white or just off-white doilies.
Of course it is.
I
Everything.
love that.
It's just doyle on the walls, on the tables.
Yeah, they're like tapestry sized,
Oh my
hung on
God.
the walls. She has those really big ones that like fold over the backs of the couch and her chair. She doesn't have a rug, but she does have several doilies that may have just fallen off of other things that are on the floor. Just that is her main means of decoration. Doilies. You can also see next to the couch there is a small table on which there is another doily. And on top of that doily is a small saucer and a teacup. And inside of that cup, she has some
Doilies.
tea.
Oh,
She has liquid doilies. That's what we do.
Just vodka.
Straight absinthe, actually.
Miss Beth,
All
do you
about
have
hallucinating.
a right? Miss Beth, do you have a plate I could grab you and silverware?
You made pancakes and didn't bring them to me on a plate?
We weren't sure on the community kitchen guidelines of taking silverware out of the facility.
how
And
do we
she'll
have
like
them right
squint. She'll squint at you. She'll say, "I believe you," and she'll walk really slowly into her kitchen, and she will come back with a small plate and give it to you.
Put the pancake on the plate
now?
with the raspberry.
And I'll take the plate from Brackle and I'll put it down on her little kitchen table, and I will minor illusion a doily underneath the plate
Very
as I
nice
set it down.
touch.
Nice touch. Nice touch. And she'll kind of look at it, and she'll look back up at you, and she'll take the plate, and she'll start walking back to the chair in the living room, and she'll just mutter under her breath, "I know the doily's fake."
I will make the doily disappear. She just abandoned it anyway on the table.
She will sit down in the rocking chair in the living space.
I'll give Verna like a knowing nod, like, I'm sorry, but that was a good try.
Yeah, it's still in some form of a lie, though, you know, an illusion. So can't do that, I guess.
She's big on the lie thing.
Big on the lie thing. We just gotta be really, really honest.
Yep.
I go, wow, Beth, this is quite a place.
So It's very cozy.
It
Uh,
is
so-
a home.
completely above game.
Uh-huh.
I had always meant for somebody within this town to have this ability to not to be able to tell lies. And up until the two of you knocked on her door, it was Eleanor. And after it was the two of you, I knew it had to switch. It had to be Beth because they can't have the two biggest swindlers not walk into this situation. So I'm so happy that that
Totally
it worked out that it
disarmed.
was the two of you. Yeah, take away both of your biggest weapon.
Vern,
But she will
very much
start to cut into the pancakes, and she is not even paying attention to the two of you. Just very slowly, painstakingly slow, cutting these pancakes, and just like she finally gets done with the swipe down, and then she rotates the plate just a little bit, and then starts cutting again, and then she continues that, rotating and cutting and rotating and cutting until they're just little triangle pieces of the pancake all the way around.
I
I
would
hope
say,
that
yeah, go for it.
I hope that you will cut this seed out of me with equal care and grace.
Well
And-
said, Vern. Very well said.
and she'll take her fork and she'll take one of the pieces, which I mean it's like a big piece. It's not a
Yeah.
bite-sized piece. It's like a pie-shaped piece of the pancake and just shove the whole thing in her mouth.
I would say like right before she does that, I'd be like, "So Miss Beth, how did you find yourself here?" Like right before she's gonna eat.
And she, with her mouth full, she's like, "Oh,
Oh, that's
and
lovely.
continues to eat.
I'll cast. Actually, I do have a thing for this.
Okay.
Thank. Right. Never mind. It works. It works the opposite way of the way I want it to work.
Okay.
Everybody can. 5
Uh,
creatures can understand me. I was hoping it
Oh.
worked where I could understand her.
So the two of you sit in silence for 15 minutes while she takes giant bites of pancake and then takes forever to chew and swallow them. She eats everything on the plate, and she'll put it like on the side table that she has. She'll pick up her tea and slowly sip it. Put that back on the saucer. Put the saucer back down on the table. She'll look over at the two of you. She'll say, "Who are you and what are you doing in my house?"
Oh my.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know who the two of you are. Oh, the looks on your faces though. You're not the only ones that can lie.
That's a good one, Beth.
But really, what are you doing here? I don't think you ever told me.
I have a seed in my stomach, and we were told that you are the woman to get it out.
It's not a seed that should be there.
Right.
Pretty
So,
sure.
so the two of you aren't the fathers.
I would. Well,
No,
I would
this is
assume
a
Vern,
one night stand of mine.
Vern, you would be the father. I assume.
I guess, well,
You know.
I feel like I
In
was
a-
definitely
in a
penetrated in
sense.
that moment, and so no, I think I'm definitely the mother.
You do have a way with caring. I would say.
I knew that you were a harlot. I called it last night, and you're just proving me correct.
I was
Yes.
shocked by the way he undressed at will.
That's a lie. He was not shocked.
She'll kind of like wipe her hands, get some crumbs off of her hands, and she will very quickly now roll up her sleeves. Just say, "Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. I need to get a seed out of you, and I need to help you blend in this town.
Me?
I know all lies, Bracklebath.
Well, I can assure you I'm not here on business for the casters.
Hmm.
So I would appreciate
Changing your clothes isn't good enough for the citizens of Mir, Bracklebath.
I do like these clothes though.
If I may, I have no ties to the casters, and I am the one with the seed inside me. So if we could just hop
Stop
to
it!
it.
Stop it! Shh! 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 Shh!
Vern, the adults are talking.
Well, that okay. Now you don't need to speak to your friend like that.
It's
Brackle.
how we talk. We talked. It's how we play.
It's
with
part of
each
our
other like
part of
that.
our banter.
Sir, I'm sure it is.
Delightful back and forth.
Brackle and Vern, the way that I see it, both of you have two choices. Vern, you can wait until the seed matures, sprouts, and disconnects itself naturally, which would take 3-4 weeks at most. Or you can allow me to heat it out of you.
Hey, well, now I'm intrigued. So when it does leave me naturally, I'm not gonna explode or anything.
No,
Will it see me
pops right
as a
back out
mother?
the hole that it went in. It will.
It'll imprint on me.
Yes.
No, get this out. Get it out of me.
We're not ready.
Uh,
We're not ready for a commitment
No,
like
yeah.
this.
Now back to Brackle. You also have two choices. One, you can carry on and take your chances. There are very few people in this town that have abilities like me. It's not a mental thing. It's more of a blood pressure thing. I can tell when people are lying internally, you know.
Interesting.
Second option is I will change your makeup genetically, temporarily, so you smell different.
So I smell different.
So you smell different.
Can
Good
you
noses, the Dampier.
Better
You smell
different?
like a caster. It's all over you,
Hmm. Well,
among other
I would.
things.
What are? I'm curious. What are the downsides of this genetic, transformation?
Well, you won't smell or feel like yourself, so a possible mental breakdown if you don't switch back soon enough. Or you get bitten and ripped to death by vampires.
Well, what's the time scenario on this before I lose my mind? I guess.
I've seen people go in minutes or years.
I don't think I'd like to be ripped apart by vampires, and I think it would hinder
would?
kind of the group. I think, they would all probably be inconsolable, and I imagine would not be able to carry on if that happened. So
It would be
That's a
mildly
lie.
inconvenient
So,
for us.
okay.
That's a lie.
please just let me tell that lie. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Well, I need to come back to see you to trade back, or what?
Yes. In short.
Cryptic, but okay.
Would you like to do this now, both of you?
Yes, please.
No time like the present. We have pancakes to make.
They, uh, they were just okay. Not bad though. Okay.
Beth, sometimes it's okay to lie a little bit, Beth.
She will get up without acknowledging that statement, and walk over to you. And she'll go to Vern first. She'll say, "Just so you know, this will likely hurt quite a considerable amount.
I see. And now
There's
do
a
you
living
need-
organism inside of you, and I'm going to burn it to death."
Okay. Okay.
Give me
Yeah,
Zap. Give me Zapdos. I don't want anything to happen to him.
yeah, you're right. Zapdos?
So she is going to take. She reaches into her pocket. She has like her robes have pockets down the side. She'll reach into one of the pockets that's in her robe, and she will take out a small. It almost looks like almost like a bullet casing, but smoother. And it has a kind of a casing of liquid, like it's a good way to describe this, like a gel cap, like NyQuil gel caps. That's what it looks like. But inside of it is a small metal bead.
Okay.
And she is going to kind of feel around on your torso.
Mm-hmm.
And you could not find where it went in because you could feel it, but there's no real entry hole. It's just kind of like burrowed into your side, and she locates the entry hole immediately. She knows exactly where it is, and she will proceed to stick this small thing into your side, Vern. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, goodness. Oh, that's pretty high for me, actually. Okay. There it is.
Okay, yeah, that saves. So it does hurt. I mean, she's inserting something metal into your flesh, but not enough that is really like doing damage to you. And so then she is going to. You get the idea that she does not have the ability to manipulate metal, but she does have an innate ability to manipulate water or liquid, or that's how she can tell like blood pressure and BPM and things like that. So she's now she's moving her hand across your stomach, and you can feel it start to move and
Oof.
follow the same trajectory that the seed did into your side. So you can now feel this gel cap burrowing its way into your body. And it gets to the point, it stops at a point, and your bodily muscle memory now realizes that it has reached the seed. And she is going to cast heat metal on the pellet. And I need you to make another Constitution saving throw.
All right.
Let's see. If I cast cure wounds on him or something, could that help at all?
Unnecessary. 25. Ban. But
Works
thank
too.
you, Brackle.
I would say yes. If it comes to that.
Okay.
So with a 25, you do save, but you can start to feel it. It doesn't feel hot quite yet because there is that coating around it, but you can definitely feel it. It's a very strange sensation. You start warming up from the inside, And you start to sweat. What you don't know is that Brackle, you are also starting to sweat. So Vern, the metal is heating up, and as you are feeling this happen, it's getting warmer and warmer and warmer. The seal on the water casing finally bursts, and the metal, you can feel it, starts to touch the seed. At this point, the metal is now also touching internal parts of your body. I need you to make a third Constitution saving throw.
$19.
That is a failure.
Oh,
I thought that was Trent that just left. It was like, oh fuck,
enough of this.
it's a really bad failure.
Dead.
Got in real life.
That is a failure. The DC for that third check was a DC 20.
Oh, all right.
Is there a way I can assist with the, like, if I use a spell slot, or
Yeah, well, you can
maybe but I'd have to
you
probably
can
do it
try and
before or something.
counteract it with cure wounds. Trent, you are going to take 4 fire damage.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Okay, it's not bad. I mean, I would hope it wouldn't be any worse since she's like the doctor of this village.
Right.
She should be really good at this.
She is her hand is like firmly pressed on your abdomen now, trying to control it because the water is now broken, right? So it's in there, and she says, I can see what you're thinking. I've done this several times. It will be okay. And this goes on for maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, and you can start to feel the bead, this metal bead, start to be pushed back out the same channel with the seed in tow. So you can feel both of them now moving back out through your your muscle and your sinew and all of that is in your abdomen. It's pushing back through. At some points it follows the path, other points it kind of goes through new territory. And I need you to make a 4th and final Constitution saving throw, please.
Right.
Holding your hand, Trent.
Thank
you can do this, buddy.
I'll give it a squeeze.
Push.
And I roll 16.
You're almost there.
That's going to be a failure as well. For this one, it is at its hottest point, and it is traveling through your body. So it is doing damage as it goes.
Okay.
Oh, God. You you are going to take 17 fire damage.
From 4 to 17?
I rolled a 1 and a 3. I rolled d12s, a 1 and a 3, and then this time I rolled an 11 and a 6.
Gotcha.
Oops.
Mamma mia.
But as you are feeling all this pain, you start to feel it come out of your skin, and you can see, if you look down, the metal is coming out, and on the very end of the metal there are little claws. It kind of latched into the seed and was pulling it behind it. And you can see that the metal and the seed both fall out of your body and onto the floor. And almost from nowhere, you didn't see her have this before, but she takes a small cloth, not a doily, a small cloth, and she presses it firmly against the exit hole on your abdomen. And she just kind of keeps it there, and you feel like she really is trying to care for your wound at this point. She's not trying to make fun of you or anything like that.
Okay.
And the seed is out. You made it through.
You did it, buddy. You did it.
Ooh, that was a journey. Let me tell you. Thank you, Beth. I'm very grateful.
Of course, no problem at all. It happens to more passerby than you'd think. A lot of people open those chests.
Hmm. So is that little seed dead and harmless now, or
It is dead. Yes.
is very dead?
Above game, if you had failed all of those checks, you would have passed out.
Okay.
There was a bit of me that wanted that to happen, but I'm glad that it didn't, for Vern's sake.
Good.
And then she's going to turn to Brackle, and she's going to say, "Are you ready?"
I suppose so.
Can we establish why? So Brackle no longer sweating? Did you say he was sweating when I was sweating?
You were both still sweating.
Oh, is it just like super warm in the room? Can I tell?
It's really it's hot.
It feels warm. Yeah, the outside air feels warm.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Beth, can we open a window in here or anything?
I only have the one, and it's just a pane of glass, so I apologize.
Okay.
Can't open that window.
No worries.
And Beth is going to take your face, Brackle, in both of her hands, like
Mhm.
this. And she's just going to really quickly, like, start shaking it. So your face is like, yeah. And she will, under her breath, mutter several incantations that you don't understand or can't comprehend. And you can feel you're still sweating, but inside of your body starts to feel very cold. And it feels almost like things are starting to reorganize inside of you. Like think of what it would feel like if your like stomach and your liver switched spots. That's almost how it feels. But everything is kind of turning around inside. And that feeling, that coldness starts to emanate outwards until you feel it on your skin. Like if you've ever been sick and gotten the chills, like you feel hot on the outside but really cold on the inside. That's how it feels right now. And it only lasts for 30 seconds or so. And she takes her hands off of you. Brackle, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as well.
I am not
This
good
is
at
the only one, so the DC is rather high.
Okay. Uh, 18 total.
That is a fail. It was a DC 21.
That's as high as I can roll. I'd have to get a nat 20.
Oh no. You are going to take... Oh, not bad. You're going to take 12 necrotic damage.
Okay.
And the coldness, that uneasy feeling, that nauseous feeling begins to subside, but there is a lingering feeling that you do not feel like yourself. You feel like you have been fundamentally changed in some way.
Vern's gonna go, ugh, Brackle, and like I'm playing. I don't smell a thing.
Both of you start to feel a little bit feverish.
Why am I feel okay? Yeah, fine.
How long will I feel this fever, Beth?
A fever? You shouldn't have a fever. I didn't
Wait a
put that on
second.
you.
Oh no. Oh no.
I just There's. Do you have a? Yeah, I just feel really hot.
Yeah, I think
Well,
we're gonna
Or
speed this
cold?
along here. I think we need to get home.
I'm sure that'll subside. I'm actually done with both of you. You are free to go, unless you would like to stay for some tea.
Oh
Oh,
no,
sure.
it's
No?
like an herbal tea. Is it good for stomachs? I just
Yeah,
for digestion.
I could
I
use
I always prioritize gut health.
Good. Then we'll happily have some of your tea.
that. Yeah, let's.
Please,
Maybe
sit,
maybe that'll help.
I will go fetch some tea for you. Please take a seat on the sofa and make yourself comfortable. I know that those procedures can be a bit overwhelming. And she will grab her cane from the chair and walk back into the kitchen.
Can I make like a medicine or insight check on my body to see maybe why I feel ill?
Yeah, I'll allow a medicine check.
I just love how long it took me to figure out what was going on. I was like, how are we
Oh.
linked? Why are we both experiencing the same things at the same time?
As soon as you said we're both sweating, I was like, "Yep, all right." That's only a 9.
A 9, you would. It's just high enough to not get the wrong idea, but low enough to not really know what's going on. So she's
Oh.
in the kitchen for only a couple minutes, but it seems like a long time. You now are sweating across your entire body. It's not just your head and your armpits, like the normal places. Like your backs are sweating, and you feel like your clothes are starting to feel damp because you're sweating so much. Um, and you start to feel a tiny bit nauseous,
Hmm.
both of you.
Okay.
Beth, how's that tea coming?
Just a second, I'll be right back out.
Okay.
Uh,
I want to very lightly use my cantrip gust to kind of like blow some cool air in our faces.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that provides some minor relief for sure. And she'll come back out with the tea, and the tea is so hot. Uh, it you can feel the heat like coming up from the cup. It just makes you feel warmer and makes you feel more nauseous. And she'll say, "Please, please, please, go ahead. It's a tea that I curate myself from my garden."
Oh, lovely, lovely. Um,
Is it rude to? Do you have a cube of ice maybe? Ice
ooh,
cube.
well, here's what we could do instead. I can use my shape water. It says that I can freeze water,
Ooh.
provided there's no creatures in it. So I'm going to how can we do this? We just like
Before you even do that, I'm gonna read verbatim a note that I wrote to myself earlier today for her tea specifically. Beth is constantly offering and drinking tea that never seems to be able to cool down or run empty.
Oh my god.
Good, good.
So yeah, so go ahead and try and cast that on the tea.
Okay.
I just have a very sensitive mouth.
I don't want to. I
Beth.
don't want to. Yeah, yeah. Do you mind if I cool this down?
You're welcome to try. It seems to just stay the same temperature.
Oh no. Okay. I'll try. I'll try to freeze Brackle's tea first.
You can see like kind of ice crystals form just above the top layer of the tea, but they melt instantly. And
Mhm.
all you really did was water down hot tea.
Okay. Okay.
Well, down the hatch, Vern. Down it.
Yeah. Okay.
Down.
I'll take a. He might throw his back, but I'll try to take a single sip.
So you both you both take sips
No,
of.
I shoot it.
All right, you both ingest the tea, and at that point, I am going to shift back over to Urzok, Teth, and Eric. And since Eric is gone, I'm going to say that he's going to go back in and talk to Bell for a bit about his herbalism kit. But we're going to leave Vern and Brackle on a slight cliffhanger for a few moments here, and reconvene with Urzok and Teth. So Urzok, you just got this scroll from Marwyll, and you met Warwick. And Teth, you got the information about the Puro Barracks and the Winter Steel, and you have now met outside of the workshop. You're kind of around this area. What would you like to do?
How was your venture there, Herzog? Was it work you were to see?
Yeah, absolute fucking unit of a man.
I mean, like how big? How big we talking?
I would love to see you two arm wrestle.
I'm really not quite as strong as I look. Yeah.
No, Marwyll was here. She is here still. To give us the scroll that she'd been working on. I suppose you could have a look if you like, but I'll hand the scroll to Teth. I assume one of our or arcane savvy party members will have to take a look at it.
Yeah, sure. I definitely probably can't beat it, but give it a go.
Teth, you, upon looking at it, you actually understand about half of the words. You because of the way that you were created, with divine and arcane magic, you actually could cast this spell with help, or you could assist somebody else that would be able to more knowledgeably cast this spell.
Huh. You know? I guess I'm a liar today. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be the one to take the lead on casting this, but I can definitely assist with this incantation. Yeah. Well, does the does the words that I can read from it's a scroll, correct?
That's correct.
Does it give me any idea of what kind of magic it is, or is it just at the very top, just like this is the name of the spell and this is what it does, or is it just the incantation?
So I hold on one second. I will give you exactly what you can read from it. So you can tell that it is a pretty standard variation of a teleportation conjuration spell from the verbiage. You can tell that it requires physical touch from the caster to a flat surface for about a minute. And that time goes down if the caster has help. And then you can also tell that this is not a like a gate-based spell. So this is essentially marking a giant glyph on a surface and having creatures stand on top of it, and that's how they transport. So it's not like walking through a portal or opening a standalone gate with another end. It is a one-way teleportation spell to your knowledge. One other thing that you would be able to tell, the way that Marowil wrote this spell scroll, this one specifically, when it is cast, it can be cast once more before the spell disappears from the parchment. So it has 2 charges, essentially.
This is what Marwell made, right, Urzok?
That's what she told me.
She must be very, very well versed in creating these types of things. This is this can be used twice before it is expended, which is probably good based on the nature of it. Yeah, I definitely think one of the, and then Tep pauses and like looks around. Where are Vern and Brackle?
Billy's all about resolving this issue.
I assumed I went to that lady's house to.
Oh, that's right. The seed that was in his lung. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was gonna say one of them could probably help us out, but they'd be the ones to actually cast and assist, and they have access to much higher levels of spheres of magic than I do.
As you
Right.
say that, Teth, on the far side of the town, from the direction of Beth's house, you hear an old woman's voice yelling from indoors somewhere, and you hear a front door burst open. Brackle and Vern both run out of the front door of the house, shooed quickly behind by Beth, really just like running behind them. And both of them are covered in vomit.
Oh.
Just all down the front. And she will stop running because she can't run for very long. But she'll just kind of wave her stick. She'll say, "I helped both of you, and you didn't tell me that you were sick. Now I have to replace all of those doilies." And she'll turn around and angrily stomp back inside of her house. And she'll say, "You're going to repay me for having to clean my house again." And she'll slam her door behind her.
We'll come back and clean it. We just need a bathroom.
And she'll
So
open
badly.
she'll open her door
Lots of
and she'll
bathrooms.
scream at you, "That is a lie!" Slam.
That is not a lie. We need a bathroom bad.
No, that you'll come back and clean it.
Oh.
Oh, I will. I think we both have prestidigitation. We can just come back and like.
That's true.
I think. I don't know. I mean, I assume Vern and Brackle would be like running frantically to try and find a bathroom, or like running back to the house. I don't know how far away it is.
I feel like it's pretty far. I don't know exactly how long you walked, Urzok, to find the spot that you found. I don't know that if we even decided on that. But how far do you think you would go into the forest before making your house? A mile? half a mile.
Maybe half a mile. Yeah.
You got a half a mile outside the inner wall.
Oh,
Is that just a forest right there by Beth's house?
You have to jump the wall. Yeah, I mean there is a smattering of trees right here.
do,
Go.
do we know about Belle? Do we talk about that at all? Like when we were with the other guys in the tower?
You actually no. You probably wouldn't, but Brackle would. Brackle was
Okay.
there
Oh, yeah.
when they talked about
I'll be
Bell
like-
and Warwick.
I'd be like, Brackle, is there anyone in this village who could make something for our stomachs?
I have like lesser restoration that I could cast on us.
Is there any expert that might live in a tower that has could help us?
Off the top of my head, probably the only tower here.
So
I could cast lesser restoration on us. Though.
above game lesser restoration would help you. Yes.
Okay, I'll do it twice. Let me try something real quick, Vern, and I'll do it on Vern first.
Vern, the relief you feel is immense. It's just like night and day. You feel so clear. Your head is unfogged. You're no longer sweating. Your temperature is all regulated, and your stomach seems fine.
Just covered in vomit.
Just covered in vomit. You just smell bad
Yeah.
and are all wet.
Did that work? Please tell me it worked.
Oh, Brackle, so much better. That was. Do that again. Do the exact same thing.
To you? Can I do it to me first?
No, to you. No. I don't need another hit of it. I feel great. Do it to yourself. I mean.
All right, I'll cast it on myself.
Yeah, you both consumed diseased berries.
Ugh. I'm gonna be honest.
You consumed metaberries.
So we did cook the jam down. So the disease should be cooked out, right? Or is Beth in trouble?
Beth doesn't even digest food because she is dead, so it will not affect her.
Oh, good. Okay.
Nobody in this town needs to breathe or eat or sleep.
Hey, look.
Wait. She doesn't need to sleep, and she was complaining that we were butting in too late at night.
Hey, man, you never know what kind of creeps are out after 7:30.
Okay,
People,
fair
you
enough.
took your clothes off on
Yeah, I
the
was
front
saying.
porch.
I was a
Said
desperate
creeps.
man.
Well, it'll be funny if we come to that realization in character, like they don't need to sleep and eat. Wait a second.
We just made you pancakes.
Hey, Vern, look, it's Urzak and the other one.
Rizak's like
I'm
hiding his, like trying to like hide his face and not
Hey,
acknowledge
guys,
their presence.
Did you not get the memo? We're all wearing vomit today.
Just keeps
Oh,
turning his
Jesus.
head and looking away.
We're let's prestidigitation it off me.
Okay. I don't have that one, so you gotta do that
You
to me
don't?
too.
Okay.
Clean
I
me.
get you as well.
Make Brackle do all the work.
Cure me, clean me.
Hear me.
It's a
clearly.
cantrip. I'll do it.
I'll just shoot a cool breeze in our faces. That's all I'm good for, cantrip wise.
Hey, that works for me.
Truly like a child in this instance, First, like, please clean me,
Clean me.
heal me, feed
Help me out. So
Yeah,
all this
we're all cleaned up.
commotion is happening. You are cleaned. Beth is extremely upset at both of you, but things seem to be looking up. You no longer have a seed inside of you, Vern. Brackle, you now are safeguarded against the common citizens of this town.
I smell different.
You smell different and feel different. Teth, you have some direction on where to go regarding your casing for your orb, and Urzak has in his possession a spell scroll that will allow the party to travel to the cerebral realm. It all looks really nice. Everything is happening really well for everybody until And Teth, you will have an uncanny recognition about what is about to happen. You will immediately recognize this event that I'm about to describe as the main way that Zethlo normally communicates with you across long distances. In the sky, maybe 50, 100 feet up, as if projected on a screen, a big projected image appears in the sky. And it is an image of someone who you all recognize, you all would know very well, to be Cerberus, the new leader of the casters. And he is in motion. It's not a still picture. He is there, a projection of him in the air. And he is looking, it seems to be looking past whatever is capturing his image and making sure that it is ready to go. And he addresses what you soon will assume is not only you, but everyone across the entire continent. He says this: "People of Azura, if you do not recognize me, my name is Cerberus. I have served the casters proudly for 3 decades. Events transpiring yesterday have spurred me to gather my thoughts and deliver an address to all of you. Many things have happened over the past 2 months. We have lost a great leader, and in the wake of his loss, come up short in our attempts to recover a centralized government. We witnessed the bastardization of our nation's oldest and most cherished institution. I, of course, refer to the unfinished 49th cycle of the tithes. I will speak on that more extensively in a moment." And this is very loud. You see people start to walk out of buildings. You see Beth come back out of her house. You see behind you Eric and Belle come out of the observatory tower. And behind that, you see Marwil and Warwick come out of the barracks, everybody looking directly up into the sky. "We have watched as our once tame and manageable wilds have become the most dangerous we've seen them in decades. Most recently, we as a country have endured an invasion that has now become too prevalent to ignore. Beings from the beyond are breaching our shores and hiding among us. I am no king. I carry no royal blood within my veins. I'm nothing more than a soldier who showed up and showed the world his talents 30 years ago. But I am the leader you have now, and I do not take that title lightly. In taking up the title of Caster Patriarch, I will address the aforementioned concerns with a few promises that I will share with you now. Many of our land's citizens, including myself, are in mourning. We mourn our late king. We mourn our soiled traditions, and most of all, we mourn our compromised safety. First, I promise to tighten the grip the casters have on our nation's communities, but has been allowed to slack in the past weeks. Control and stability will resume. Secondly, I promise to fulfill the expectation of revelry and entertainment that you, the noble citizens, so look forward to. I and my most trusted are working to reevaluate the 49th cycle, and will be putting a plan into motion to continue from where we left off. This includes repairs to our battlegrounds here within the capital, regrouping with the heroes that fought so valiantly in the tithes but could not finish their destinies, and filling the occupancies left by those not strong enough to endure the trials, thus ensuring a robust and complete contest. Finally, and this is a promise I make with the utmost intensity and stoicism, I promise to you, my brothers and sisters of Azura, my kin, the people I am most dedicated to serve and protect, that I will not rest until those that have invaded the borders of our land are banished or silenced. With that promise, I also ask you, the most honorable citizens, two things. The first is to stay vigilant concerning outsiders. Any stranger on the street could be one of these others, as I have been calling them. If you think you may know the whereabouts of one of these cretins, alert your nearest caster outpost. We are in the process of raising at least 300 more outposts across the continent for your safety. The second is to stay vigilant concerning those of our own that have wronged us. And you can kind of in the crowd now that is almost everybody in Mir. People are kind of murmuring, talking amongst each other. But when he brings up staying vigilant concerning those of our own that have wronged us, everybody falls silent. The whole community of people in this square, not saying a thing, looking up into the sky, watching Cerberus. Following traitors are actively working against my plans to bring a brighter future to our beautiful home. The following list will show a group known for attacking citizens at random, fleeing from me before I could find a reasonable and peaceful truce. They are not to be trusted or helped in any way. Please alert us immediately if you see any of the following fugitives. As he begins this list, you start to see pictures of yourselves materialize up in the sky around him. Cerberus is still kind of in the center, but you can see popping up in the sky as separate illusions your likenesses. The one known as Urzak, Ferenth's Eternal Blade. Teth Surkov and his accomplice Zethlo Durand. Vern Wellerby of the House Wellerby in Charvassus. Eric Ecleodrak of the New Ponteg's Ecleodrak Forge. Crowbar of the Valley and his recently anointed ward, Elias.
Oh, come on.
Morrowil Loneflower of the Caster Common Workers. The abomination known as Flynn of the 49th Cycle. An Aarakocran called Dez, who is directly responsible for the destruction of our battlegrounds. And my, up until recently, dear friend and partner, Gael Averit. You may know him as the High General of Reaping. You now know what these criminals look like, and can easily identify them. If you see them, please act, for your bravery will be handsomely rewarded. To all of my people, I wish you a safe and prosperous future, and you will hear again from me soon. The illusions cut out of the sky. Still deathly quiet. The only difference now is you notice that everyone that is out in the square surrounding you is looking inwards at the four of you and Eric and Marawill. You don't see Dez, and you don't see Flynn. You don't see Silgath. You see an entire town full of strangers staring directly at you. And that is where we will end the session tonight.
Nice.
That
I'll add one final
was
moment.
awesome.
After that monologue, everyone looks at us. Vern just goes, "Whoa," and he vomits one last time. Not from sickness, but just like total fear. And then
It's like, and
Fear
I'm
vomit.
like the only one who knows that it wasn't. Well, I guess they didn't know
Yeah.
you were sick either, but like I specifically know you're restored, and it was like
mhm.
I would. If do you guys have like a minute?
Yeah.
To talk. So like, Vern, how are you feeling after that? Like, are you just like in a complete and utter panic? Like, have you ever been? You've probably never been in trouble before.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And this obviously is going to be ruining my plans to rub shoulders with people and launch my rail line now that I'm a fugitive. Slight hiccup in my plans. I mean, I think Vern still feels okay that he's like clearly with you guys, right? But I think this is the first time he's also been like, what? Like a leader like that can just lie and like say we're bad? So that two-facedness is probably throwing him a bit.
And
Vern
Teth-
only deals in small time lies.
right.
Yeah, that's it. Right, for fun, just when you're rich, you're bored. You gotta find your own entertainment.
Teth, what's your initial, immediate reaction to that?
Well, gonna do this again, huh?
Because you were ostracized, obviously, after the end of the war, essentially.
Yeah, after the end of the two-faced war, two-facing son of a bitch Cerberus. Yeah.
Mm.
No, he's just like, welp. Okay, I guess we're gonna do this again, I guess. There was a little bit of not a hope, I guess, but like, even though Teth didn't interface with Cerberus that much, there's a little bit of him that was like, maybe this guy will go about this the correct way.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just immediately extinguished. Like, oh, okay, this is the path that he's chosen. He is blinded by duty and power, essentially. And in his eyes, anyways.
Yeah. What about you, Urzak?
We all know how Urzak feels about lying.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty. He's mourning. He's full of emotions, and he's pretty pissed off. Ready to fucking take that scroll and go right to his goddamn bedchamber and start beating the shit out of him.
For sure.
How does Brackle feel about it?
Much more complex than I think the other three, since he wasn't. So I guess he's trying to put together why he singled out them, hasn't put up like Arvantis and myself. I mean, maybe
I think you know why.
Well, I know Arvantis, but not put up the rest of the tithes, I guess, that aren't with us. I guess I'm still trying to figure out, I guess, by him not putting a wanted poster on my head, then he must still have some trust in me, or he thinks I will get the message. Maybe the message was you need to bring these people in if you want to, like, move up in this organization or anything. So I think Brackle's he's definitely freaking out and trying to put these pieces together, and how Cerberus is building this house of cards currently. Especially throwing Morrow. Well, I guess so. We know Morrowill is more than just a servant, right? Because of the bunker
You
stuff.
guys do know that,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then obviously we know. So he knows about kind of that underground sweep from him putting Gael out there and Morrowill out there as well.
Well,
So
Gael left. He left the casters after
Mhm.
the events of the first chapter.
Did he? Oh, okay.
Morrowill did not.
Mhm.
She was still acting under her guise as a common worker.
Okay.
So Gael makes sense,
Okay.
but Morrowill, the implications are that he, even if he
Found
doesn't
out.
know about the bunker, he definitely knows about her duplicitousness.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So yeah, he's gonna be thinking and trying to make new plans.
But
Ready.
also we're in a city that's incredibly anti-caster, so
Yeah. So luckily that happened here and not somewhere else. But
they're looking at us like, oh, these guys are on our side. Great.
so yeah,
I-
actually that could be a boon for sure.
So I had this. I didn't have it all written out, and I didn't have it completely planned. But I had an idea that something like this would happen, like some type of universal address would happen eventually. Um, and the idea was always to put you in place in like a highly populated area, and you just you just happened to pick the place that hates casters, which I super enjoy more than like sticking you in the middle of a city of like rabid cannibals or something. They're like, "Whoa, let's fuck them up!" Like, uh, so it has worked out really cool, or like really well. Um, yeah. Teth,
That was
how
awesome.
do you feel about recognizing the method of projection?
My the way I interpreted it is maybe like I guess even though you mentioned Zethlo, I imagined it almost more of something that was used during the war, whether it was for like propaganda or just even sending large amounts of data over long distances to allies or maybe threats to enemies or declarations. Um, that was my initial thought of it. If it's something more specific to Zethlo, then that's not great. But that was my interpretation. Was like, hey, this is. It reminded me of like the beginning of war or the beginnings of a war or like again like a declaration, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not an entire kingdom; it's just a group of people.
Right. Yeah. Thankfully, you're in the middle of a small town and not like in
Could
the
take
middle of
them
the
all if they
capital
needed to.
city. Yeah.
Hey guys, you know what? We can break the game and just windwalk our way into Cerberus's bedroom and punch him in the butt.
I thought that was incredibly cool, and just like I was just soaking up the moment.
Oh, thanks, man.
There was a part of me that hoped that Cerberus wouldn't suck.
Oh, I was like,
Cerberus was always gonna suck.
Yeah,
the
there's got
first
to be
part was cool.
someone. Yeah,
Like Brackle was excited when he was like, I'm reigning in the chaos. I was like, that's great. And then he kept saying more things.
Just stop talking while you're ahead, dude. Yeah, he was always going to be a dick for sure. I think that especially in the first chapter, I tried to incorporate too much with how small the scale was. I don't know. Donovan and Andrew can speak more on this. But I feel like there were so many characters, and the scope of the campaign was so small that not all of them could fit. Like I wanted more Cerberus, I wanted more Gael, and even though you got a little bit of him in the cerebral realm, you didn't really get to learn about anybody. And now that it's like a big time world issue, there's physical space for all the characters that I wanted to do more with the first time to grow and develop. So like from my point of view, for Cerberus to go from like this dejected, like I don't give a fuck anymore because they picked the wrong person to lead, to go from that to just boost it up into the ultimate place of power where he can be like, I've been trying to do this for 30 years. Like that's where I wanted him in the first part, and I never got to do it. So now I'm like and Daunt out of the way.
It's
It's like an overcorrection, and he's just like going insane now.
Yeah.
I keep thinking of that moment we had, like, I don't know, probably 3 months ago now, but after Wraith was killed, and there was like a very like unexpected discussion, like, what the fuck are we gonna do? There's a serious consideration initially by Teth at that point, like, we need to go kill him, Cerberus. Like, we have a moment where this is possible potentially. There's just been this thing that was in the compound, and it was just like, it was his I guess more of his former self, his literally, I get sent to kill people in inopportune times, right? And it was like, I think he kind of repressed that and was just trying to see the good, or like the potential, like, okay, maybe this will pan out.
Yeah.
And as soon as he saw that, he's just like, fuck. That moment is gone. For the
Damn it.
time being, anyways. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Michael Morales, I don't suppose you've ever watched a show called Ruby before.
No.
There's a whole like 3-season arc where basically this group of people, they go to the protagonist, they go to the city and they help out, they do all the shit, they work with them. And they have like this ruler who's uh he's not a ruler, but he's the head of the military and he's forced into a leadership role because the previous ruler died. And he gets lashback from the protagonist because he wants to declare martial law. And they're like, no, you're crazy. You can't do that. And his response is to do exactly what just happened. Is he just like, he goes across all TVs. He's like, I'm declaring martial law. I'm naming off every single person in this party. They're all wanted for arrest. If you find them, I'll have to find it, like the episode, and send it to you. I was like, there was the moment was happening. I was like, this is so familiar.
Super cool.
I'll have to find the episode and do. It's such a cool fucking moment.
There was a point in the first campaign that you asked me something similar, and I also didn't know the source material there, and I can't remember what it was. But I just like through osmosis am plagiarizing.
Yeah, there was. I remember your.
Unknowingly.
I mean,
It was in the basement with all the cages that suck the life energy out
Mhm.
of the prisoners, I think. And you asked me if I had seen something, and I said no. And you're like, well, this is the exact plot of that game.
I mean,
Can't
it's
remember what
really
it was,
it's
though.
interesting with media right now is that like
Mhm.
it's so easily widely accessible that like
Yeah.
there's already the the theory that you can only tell, was it like 27 different kinds of stories? Like everything
Yeah,
falls underneath that.
I have
Mhm.
that document and I have scanned it a lot because I'm trying to not like duplicate them. Because I already I messed up several times because the like without even thinking about it, um, I've done the hero and the helpless trope several times with you guys now, where like the Mandalorian or the Last of Us or
Mhm.
where the one rugged protagonist helps a helpless secondary character complete a mission of some sort. And I tried to shoehorn it with Crowbar in the first chapter, and then it kind of naturally happened with Urzak and Shaw instead. And I was like, great, somebody latched onto it. And then in the chapter 2, I was like, I'm just gonna fucking shoehorn Elias into Crowbar's story too. So now I've done it twice, and like Teth and Zethlo are kind of like that dynamic, and I'm just like, I want to get away from that. Like the hero has to be a savior for another
Mhm.
less powerful being.
I mean,
So
archetypes
Shaw will come
exist for
back,
a
and
reason, though.
I know it sells.
Yeah.
It sells,
It
man.
just it works. It's highly human and like those
Yeah,
repeated story structures.
yeah.
So
I think
I think there's a
now,
place.
now with you guys, I was just talking to Andrew about this like 2 days ago. Like the comfortability level of everybody at the table now is much higher, I think, and I can feel it on my end, and that's like I am now just like sinking into my role at running everything. I'm more comfortable with more NPCs now, and it's like I can stop trying to just put tropes in. A lot of stuff just happens. Like you guys picking poison raspberries. I didn't write that, but it ended up being a giant part of your storyline today, and stuff like that happens all the time now, and that takes the pressure off me to just like force something into it that I think will be interesting. I think the
I think
dynamic is now really flowing well, at least
Mm.
from my perspective.
I think you can do a lot crazier stuff like eating poison raspberries when you're not worried about like, oh, am I gonna die from this or whatever? Just let it go
Yeah.
and know you'll take care of the story. Like you're not gonna
Right.
you're not gonna be like, oh well, you're old bad. I guess you're dead from that. It's like take some risks. You can.
Yeah. Well, and
Vern and I
yeah.
might have almost pissed off Beth. Like we didn't know she might not have even helped us at that point, but we'd figure it out. These are
Right.
weird characters. We'll
Mm.
find another way to get healthy, or he'll just grow a plant inside of him.
That's it. I mean, when I learned, I considered it. When I learned that I wasn't going to explode or something, I'm like, oh, I just get like a little assistant plant creature.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure,
Yeah,
I'll
for
have
sure.
that one. I'll have my flute dragons. I'll have
That one
Zapdos.
definitely would have
I'll be
been
set.
Vern Jr. If you give birth to the plant.
Little VJ,
No
little VJ
other
running
option.
around.
Yeah, I definitely, I think I've probably talked to everybody at the table now about this separately, but I'm super appreciative of everybody just like investing in it. It's a really weird thing, as Andrew and Donovan can attest to, uh, running a game and just putting your own idea out there for everybody to possibly rip apart. Like that's the first thing you think is like, this is going to be not good enough and it's going to feel dumb and they're just going to think this is stupid. And I think that we have gotten past the point where me putting something out into the world, like we introduced 3.5 new characters today, and all of them are ridiculous in different ways. None of them are straightforward, and I wouldn't have done that, I think, 3 months ago or 6 months ago. I would have
Mhm.
It would have been another Gael or another Cerberus, where it's like, this is the rogue trope that's going to help you guys escape, or this is the big bad trope. I guess Visick is an outlier there because he's pretty ridiculous, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
feel
it's
good.
definitely hard to like put work into something, and then have a player that comes back with like it's not responsive. It makes your
Yeah.
life a lot easier to fucking cat crawling behind you.
Yeah, I
I
saw
know.
that. It looked like
Yeah.
a parrot for a second, like just the white part. I was like, is that a bird?
Let's see. Yeah, it makes your life a lot easier when your players help with the story building and they buy into everything.
Yeah, and I think that I mean, I obviously you guys know that I ask a lot of questions out of game. I don't know if a day goes by where I'm not texting one of you like, "Hey, what do you think about this thing?" or "What's this little detail about your character?" Um, but I think that has now minimized, and I've really tried to be super specific with those. Um, So like Vern got a bunch of Easter eggs in the prologue today that nobody else even
Mhm.
knows about, um, and stuff like that. I want to keep trying to do more of. So less like forced large scale stuff and more little gifts for you guys scattered that you can enjoy that aren't necessarily full party things to keep you like keep the reciprocity going between all six of us.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
What did you think about the prologue today? By the way, we kind of just went right into the game.
It was great, dude.
Hmm.
I
Nice.
could tell there's a lot of the last like month I'd been knowing that there was Vern things about, and then like
Mhm.
bits and pieces, and I was like listening to you tell the prologue, and I was like plug this over here, this over here, and I was like, okay, there's definitely some little hidden goodies there.
And hopefully next week, because next week is your last week with us, right, Trent? If I am doing my math
I
correctly,
think you're right. Yeah.
because we missed last week.
Mhm.
Next week, the idea is to tie up that whole prologue storyline and like finish it out next week, and that'll
Okay.
tie your original prologue, like from our session 0, your backstory. That's
Mhm.
the first piece. Well, I guess piece number 4, and then
Mhm.
the past 3 prologues have been 1, 2, and 3. This is 5, and then next week we'll complete the Vern prologue storyline, and next week is like the Vern love letter episode or session or whatever. Because then you go off and you're gone for 3 weeks, and it doesn't matter, and we have to go find your orb for you. You don't even have to do any work.
No. I'm just one that said, "A God spoke to me, and it's here." Good luck, guys.
Then peace. No, I think the way that you leave will be good.
Okay.
I'll talk to you more about it.
Alternatively, you should have kept the plant inside of you and been like, "I'm sorry, guys. I need to stay here for the next 4 weeks and raise this child."
I need bed rest and all that.
It's just 3 weeks from child to adult.
Yeah, it's just like walking around.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
One of these days I'll make a character that lets it stay inside of them. Just walking around with a plant like hanging out up the side of their body.
I thought for a moment that Trent was gonna decide to keep it.
There was a moment of disbelief where I was like, "Oh, he's gonna say, just don't worry about it. I'm gonna keep it inside of me."
Yeah, but then Vern's been too eager to get it gone. So, but I was just like, ooh, yeah. Trent wanted to see it play out since I was
Yeah.
like, well, my character will still live. Like, But no,
Yeah,
Vern
I
does not want a
wondered if
parasite.
the not exploding from within would convince Fern to be like, let's ride this out. Let's see where this
Yeah.
goes.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Well,
guys. Well,
yeah.
next Monday we'll tie up Vern's prologue storyline and then get going on the next leg of this. And then we're probably like, I mean, as you know, everything takes 3 times as long once we start playing, but
Mhm.
I would say we're probably like 6 to 7 sessions away from heading back to somewhere that we deem as a safe location and taking downtime. And then going back to Lost Mines for a while. I talked to Michael Fitzko, Vern. Your name is Trent. You're not Vern.
Yeah.
I'm really in it now.
Who's
I
Vern?
talked to Michael Fitzko, and he agrees that keeping you out of the dungeon we're in doesn't make any sense. He just didn't want to incorporate a seventh person. But now he won't have to because Aaron's going to be out for the next few weeks because his schedule changed. So if you want to start making another character, you can start thinking about that, ruminate on that. He has more restrictions on like species and stuff than I do.
Okay.
So I'll get you in contact with him, and he can give you the specifics of what you are allowed to be for his world. I think it's pretty open. It's just not like crazy stuff like minotaurs and centaurs and stuff. He doesn't want.
Okay.
I'm a bird, so
Yeah, we're both playing bird. I play Des,
Yeah.
so
Oh, that's right. We're both birds.
Well, you're playing an owlet, aren't you?
a separate bird. Yeah.
A separate bird, yeah.
We have flamingo.
I
Oh,
thought
that
you
would
were
be
a
amazing.
ring, Barlos.
What?
I thought you were a ring.
But he's also a ring.
I also am a soul inside of a ring. Yes.
So
But yeah, something for you to think about, Trent, to make a separate character there.
I think we're level 7, I believe. Level 6.
I think
Yep.
so. I think 7 sounds correct.
Okay. I'll talk to him when he gets in touch. And
We're level
And who
7.
knows? He might be back home before we finish, and we could just incorporate him into this game because he already has a character built for this campaign. So we could fold him back in.
let's see. He'll be back by February 20th.
Oh, we'll definitely go past that.
Mm-hmm. That's
February
when
20th. Oh, that's a Monday. So
Yeah, but
next week's the 30th, and then
he'll
Vern
be
is gone
needing
2
to like
weeks.
settle in and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I would say we'll probably run this campaign into mid-March through to the next orb. I would say.
maybe you can come in on one of the sessions and kind of like get everybody up to speed.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. All right, cool.
Cool. All right.
I'm gonna hop off. Thanks for debriefing afterwards. Thanks for a great session. I know it was a little bit more PC than normal, but I don't think it was necessarily bad.
Mm-mm.
And we'll do a bunch of full group stuff next week.
See you
Sounds good.
guys.
Alrighty.
See ya.
Bye.
Awesome. Have a good night.